Don't miss a pitch on the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Friday, August 21st. Your top story, on the lookout for a bank robbery suspect.
I'm Jessica Ty. A unanimous vote to freeze tuition for UW students.
Well, some rain in the area. Some stronger storms are possible today and tonight. High 78, overnight low of 64. Sun returns on Saturday. It's 61 and rainy in Milwaukee at 12:01. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, police looking for a suspect who robbed a bank in Brookfield. Authorities say the man robbed the North Shore Bank near Pilgrim Road at Capitol Drive Thursday afternoon. Looking for a man who was wearing a tan hooded sweatshirt, jean jacket, black mask, gloves, and jeans. He drove away in a black four-door sedan with no license plates. It's unclear how much money was taken from the bank.
A car dealership in Kenosha was just slapped with a racial harassment lawsuit.
Management at Kenosha Nissan are accused of threatening several black employees who reported racial harassment in 2024. The lawsuit filed by the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission says one manager warned employees that they would, quote, make their lives a living hell, and another compared a black employee to an animal. Several employees resigned out of fear of being fired, and the lawsuit says one employee was fired for reporting the harassment. The lawsuit is seeking back pay and punitive damages for the workers. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
A Universities of Wisconsin budget request to freeze tuition moves forward. Regions voting unanimously on a proposal that asks for $190 million from the state to hold tuition rates for 2 years. The budget request also includes financial aid, medical research, and workforce training. Regent Tom Palisewicz.
The UWs will be the Midwest leader in tuition affordability, and over the next 10 years will graduate 300,000 career-ready workers, upskill 1 million for better jobs, and create 2,500 new businesses, and prepare 35,000 Wisconsin healthcare professionals.
The proposal now heads to state lawmakers.
4 states are seeking billions of dollars in damages, as well as fundamental changes to how Meta runs Facebook and Instagram. A whistleblower says the company deliberately and illegally targeted kids with its products.
A big part of what we're seeing in this attorney's general suit is the violation of the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, which requires that parents give consent for children under 13 and their data to be collected.
Meta insists it has a long history of protecting its youngest customers.
And a new move from Walmart aimed at lowering prices. ABC's Will Reeve.
Walmart says it is putting its $2.9 billion tariff refund toward lower prices. The company says its customers are feeling squeezed, especially by gas prices. They're above $4 a gallon as families contend with high prices across the board.
A new poll finds 41% of Americans are concerned about being able to afford groceries over the next several months. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Rebound day here. The Dow is up 411 points at 53,170. NASDAQ up about 150 today at 26,210. And the S&P 500 up about 40 points at 7681. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. It's financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
A showcase of depth tonight. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:04.
Bark and Scratch Outpost. We know you love your pets. They love you too, so don't forget. Your pets are happy when you take good care of them. Meow. Your pets are happy when you take good care of them.
Come on down, you will see.
We do it naturally. MilwaukeePetFood.com. Bark and Scratch Outpost.
Our friendly staff is available 7 days a week to show you a variety of high-quality, local, and national brand pet foods. Be sure to visit our freezer area for a large selection of diets and bones. Bark and Scratch Outpost, 5835 West Blue Mound Road. Leashed pets are always welcome. At Bark and Scratch Outpost, we think outside the bag.
Come on down, you will see.
We do it naturally. MilwaukeePetFood.com. Bark and Scratch Outpost.
Trying to keep up with the 21st century can really get you down.
When you need a break, come to Kessler's.
We'll turn your day around.
We have good air conditioning.
And we love making new friends.
The coffee's better than average.
Because we want you to come back again.
We want to be your jeweler.
My father told you for 29 years that he wanted to be your jeweler.
He put that desire in everyone he hired.
And then he gave us the company.
He transformed our lives and gave us the most fun job on earth.
It's easy to sell jewelry when you sell it for less than it's worth.
Come and take a look at our engagement rings.
And of course, we have thousands of other things.
When you're having an overcast day, come to Kessler's.
We're going to turn your day around.
Free jewelry cleaning done by world-class professionals.
While you drink your good coffee in a room full of diamonds and gold.
Makes you feel better, no matter what you've been told.
One thing you definitely want to see before you're done
is our exclusive Kessler 81.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Healthy starters expected to play tonight in the preseason game against the Broncos, but it'll be largely a showcase of depth of the Packers roster.
There's a good handful of guys that you know are locks, and then that's something that obviously communicate with Goody on when we're making those decisions, but there's still, a handful of spots certainly up for grabs.
Packers' 90-player roster must be trimmed to 53 by 3 o'clock on the afternoon of August 30th. Tonight's game, an 8 o'clock kick from Denver. Brewers begin a 3-game series against the first-place Braves this afternoon. Cy Young Award frontrunner Jacob Misiorowski will start for the Brewers. Former American League Cy Young Award winner Chris Sale goes for Atlanta. Great pitching matchup. Coverage gets underway at 2:35. Brewers begin the day 5 games ahead of the Cubs for first place in the NL Central. And the UW women's volleyball team begins the season tonight against Kentucky at Fiserv Forum. The event at Fiserv features 10 women's teams, most of which are ranked in the top 25. You can hear tonight's match on WTMJ beginning at 7:30.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. No crashes to report. We like that, but there is significant slowing, mostly in our construction zones. If you're in a construction zone right now, you are seeing it, you are feeling it. It is slow going. Also, especially slow just because of the rain. The roads are wet, and we do have a couple of disabled vehicles that are actually causing some problems, just slowing things down a little bit more because it is wet, it is rainy, and people are trying to be careful as they go around them. In the River Hills area, I-43 South, very close to the ramp from Brown Deer East. Right shoulder is blocked there. That's at the curve. Looks like an emergency responder just pulled up to make sure everything is okay. But traffic is definitely slowing around that one. And then closer to the Milwaukee area, 4394 North at the ramp from Lapham Street. Left shoulder blocked due to a car that's broken down there. That car does have, it broke down like right below the overpass. So at least as the rain is coming down, it's a little bit protected, but not good to break down in traffic. This traffic report sponsored by Marty's Pizza in Delafield.
Remember, Marty's Pizza. Ooh.
Right off I-94 and Highway 83 in Delafield.
Well, some light rain falling right now in downtown Milwaukee. Some evening storms are possible. Sun can be on the heavy side. High 78, overnight low 64. Saturday and Sunday look great. Just a slight chance of a pop-up shower on Saturday, but the day is mostly sunny with a high of 78 degrees. A little cooler and less humid on Sunday with a high of 74. Monday's high 73. 61 and rain falling in Milwaukee at 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
So I took the Skyway over to Starbucks to grab a chocolate and pimento bread. It's absolutely delicious.
Really?
If you know, you know. It's
Seems
fantastic.
like an interesting mix.
I wasn't looking for a coffee, but I just need a little snack, a little tide me over. And I was going down the escalator in the Hyatt Hotel, and sure enough, the University of Texas women's volleyball team was just walking in. I don't typically feel short in a crowd.
But you did there.
Can confirm they are playing the right sport. Oh, my gosh. But they are a wonderful team, one of many incredible teams here in Milwaukee playing at Fiserv Forum and part of this season kickoff tournament, of which the UW Badgers and Marquette University are hosting.
Let's spike this.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Happening now, we are watching for another round of strong storms. It's been quite the summer for storms here in southern Wisconsin. These storms will be scattered this afternoon and this evening. Take note, though, the National Weather Service says damaging wind is possible. The storms could also bring small hail and lightning. The National Weather Service also says a tornado cannot be ruled out. We certainly do not want another twister. Wisconsin has already recorded 47 tornadoes this year. The average is 23.
Investigators in Philadelphia say they believe they know the identity of the person accused of terrorizing more than a dozen people in the streets, all while wearing a Chucky-style Halloween mask. ABC's Faith Abube.
After terrorizing people on city streets for days, Philadelphia police say they've unmasked the mystery man allegedly threatening people and need help tracking him down. Police releasing new surveillance video in the urgent manhunt, showing the suspect investigators say is 22-year-old Zymir Hughes. Authorities say over several days, Hughes harassed 15 to 16 people around the city, at times allegedly asking his victims, "Are you ready to die?"
All right, this is all sorts of creepy, right?
Extremely creepy.
Authorities believe they know who the guy is, but they don't know where he is. That's part of the problem here. Investigators state that the 22-year-old suspect packed his bags, he left his Philadelphia apartment. Police believe he left Pennsylvania altogether. He does travel quite a bit for work, according to some reports here, and some indicate he could be in the Los Angeles area, maybe Las Vegas. Possible charges include terroristic threats, simple assault, reckless endangerment, harassment, and intimidation.
Turns out Americans are putting down the bottle and picking up the bong. A new Gallup poll finds a historically low number of Americans, 13%, admit to drinking too much.
Not since Gallup began asking whether we drank have so many of us said no. 54% of U.S. adults say they do consume alcohol, mirroring last year's figure, which was the lowest since 1939. Despite the finding that an occasional glass of red wine, for example, might actually be good for you, 51% of respondents to the Gallup survey believe that even moderate drinking is unhealthy. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Meanwhile, the National Institute on Drug Abuse reports about a quarter of men and 1 in 5 women use cannabis on a regular basis. About 30% of them report signs of cannabis use disorder. Up next, a unique new chapter for some Ridglan Beagles. 4 of them are in prison. It's 12:12.
Attention travelers! The Fox World Travel Vacation Showcase is coming to Oshkosh on Saturday, September 12th. Meet over 20 top vendors, including major cruise lines, tour companies, hotels, and WTMJ's own Steve Scafidi. Attend expert travel presentations, unlock exclusive booking offers, and enter to win amazing prizes. Registration is required to attend this premium event, and space is limited. Secure your spot today. Visit foxworldtravel.com to register right now.
Hey, sounds good, Rose. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage authority in the state of Wisconsin. If you got a busted garage door, your door's not working right, something's wrong with the opener, give my friends at Geist a call today. Incredible people and outstanding brands like CHI and LiftMaster, reputable, in stock, incredible inventory, ready to go for you. They even have a custom design center. Whatever it is to meet your exact needs, you can rely on Geist for swift and reliable garage repair solutions. Start the process online at geistdoors.com. You can also make a trip to their showroom in Brookfield, right off Barker Road. Don't think twice. Call Geist and visit geistdoors.com.
Bank 59 has a mission to make lives better. They make it a priority to give back to their customers, communities, and their employees. In fact, Bank 59 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 17 years in a row. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 59? Visit bank59.com/careers. That's bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
Get your final August plans in for Brewers Rangers Action Friday, August 28th through Sunday the 30th. Starting with the Cole Swindell postgame concert at Country Music Night on Friday, featuring a belt buckle with a special ticket. Then it's Jackson Churio Mania. Get the Churio Bowl giveaway Saturday, courtesy of 620 WTMJ. And get it on the Final Kids Cheer Free Sunday before summer ends. Kids get a Churio Height poster on Sunday, courtesy of Joy. Get tickets for it all at brewers.com.
Some light rain falling right now in Milwaukee. A little more significant of a punch to the rain falling closer to the state line. Some afternoon and evening storms are possible here. Some could be on the strong side. Storms ending eventually tonight, then partly cloudy, a low 64. Slight chance of rain on Saturday. Most of the day is dry. Most of the day is sunny. High 78. Cooler, a little less humid on Sunday with a high of 74. Monday's high 73 under sunny skies. It's 61 and rainy in Milwaukee at 12:15.
You're not going to believe where some of the Ridglan Beagles are now.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Beagle Buzz. This week, we're going to get some updates on our favorite Beagles here from the Ridglan Farms.
Most of the dogs released from the Dane County Breeding and Research Facility are in new homes across the country or down at Big Dog Ranch Rescue in Florida. But 4 of the Ridglan Beagles are in prison. Hold up, though. This is heartwarming. Inmates in Michigan are helping the research dogs learn how to be pets. And the inmates, well, they're learning something from the dogs as well. Patty Hubble, Deputy Warden at the Alger Correctional Facility, joins us live with the details. Great to have you on the show, Patty.
Hi, thank you for having us.
So if we walked into the prison right now, your facility, what would we see? What does an inmate working with one of the Ridglan Beagles look like?
Well, most of them right now today are just wearing shorts and a t-shirt. You wouldn't think that they're prisoners other than being inside the prison. They're all walking their dogs, playing, having coffee, jogging. Some of them jog with their dogs, just doing everyday things that they would be doing out in society.
But as far as working with the dogs, I know I've seen videos. In fact, we've got, for those of you streaming right now, we have some of the videos from your Facebook page posted right now and streaming for us. But what are they doing out there in the prison yard? How are they working with these dogs?
What they're doing is just getting them used to being out of their cages they were in and just being dogs. So usually when we get a dog in, regardless of where they came from, they have a bonding time that the handlers work with them before they do any commands, do anything with them. Just let them come in, decompress, get used to them being in the cell, to being handled. And then once they get relaxed, then they can start working on commands. But when the Beagles first came in, a lot of them hadn't been on grass, hadn't been, hadn't been on a leash or a collar other than maybe coming from the shelter. So they had a lot of adjustment outside of our normal dogs that come in, being touched and handled, seeing people moving around, the fresh air, bugs, birds, things they had never seen before.
So, Patty, of all the avenues, right, to get these dogs acclimated to society, why the prison system?
Because we have somebody here 24/7. They have a lot of time to spend with these dogs, the knowledge and the patience. These dogs, they're dogs, but still they have a lot of issues that some of the dogs we normally get don't have. But these handlers have seen a lot, and they just know how to work with them. And then we have 26 handlers in the program, so they all work amongst each other. Like one might know a better way to do something than the other. So it's a learning experience for them. And going into it, we told them they've never drank from a water dish. So you might have to teach them how to do that. They've never, just had a normal life. So just let them come in and let them get used to. We really didn't know what to expect taking them in, but they have been just absolutely amazing. They're little survivors, and they're just sweet and innocent. And I don't know if you follow the page, but we have the one little girl, Sally, who has her own little program now, Sally's Closet. She's dressed up. She's our little princess. But they play with all the other dogs. They do really good. And I don't know if you've read much on the Ridglan Farms, but the reason that they use Beagles is just because of their demeanor, because they are so easygoing and non-aggressive that you can do just about anything to them, and that's why they typically use the Beagles.
Patty, how do you decide which inmates are trusted with a dog? How are the inmates picked for this program?
Their overall institutional history, what they've done while they've been in prison. We don't always look at what got them here, because we aren't here. We're past that. So it's what they've done while they're in prison.
So, Patty, you said you weren't really sure what to expect. Is this the first time you've had a group of dogs at your facility, or have you kind of gone down this path before?
Oh no, we've had about 575 dogs through our program. Just because Ridglan Farms was unique, we weren't sure what to expect. And we've had a lot of cases through here. We had 6 years ago, there was a puppy mill case that we were a part of, and they were similar to this. Very little human contact, lived in cages, just were under. When dogs are like this, you look at them kind of, they're children. They didn't get time to play and learn how to be dogs, so they're almost like puppies when you get them, and they're just kind of, not at the level they should be at that age.
I was listening to some of the inmates on social media, and they admit it's hard to see the dogs go when they're finally adopted.
You can't help but get attached to the dog you have in your care. There's not one dog that left this place that I had that I didn't shed a tear over.
But they're also proud because they see the changes in the dogs. Here's another inmate.
It takes a piece of our heart with it every time. That's, to me, the hardest part. But the flip side is knowing the work and the effort that we put in and knowing that dog is going to be successful out there, the change that we made in that dog.
Patty, how have you seen the inmates change because they've been given responsibility for an animal like one of these Ridglan dogs?
A lot of them just grow up. Some of these guys came in when they were very young. They didn't completely mature. And some of them had children coming in but never got to raise them. So this is their chance to kind of do that with their children, I guess you could call them, because they do look at them kind of as their kids. And their families follow the pages. Their kids follow the pages. So they get to see what they're doing while they're here. It's rewarding to them as well. So their family knows what they're doing while they're here. They're not just coming in and just wasting their time. They're learning a valuable trade while they're here.
So, Patty, I'm curious about the outreach. Who do you partner with to ensure that there will be more dogs that come to the facility, that you get to that 600 mark, maybe 700 mark? And how closely were you following things happening at Ridglan Farms to the point where you knew, all right, we're going to have more dogs coming our way?
We work with the Delta Animal Shelter out of Escanaba, and that's who all of our dogs come through. But in the state of Michigan and the MDOC, we have 25 dog programs throughout the state. We have a lot of different dog programs. We have leader dogs, Blue Star dogs, dogs that are trained for veterans. We have different types of programs. This particular program is for rescue dogs. So these dogs are taken directly from shelters. And throughout the state, we have different shelters that other facilities work at. But in particular, we work with the Delta Animal Shelter. These dogs, they actually worked with the Northwoods Animal Shelter, so they coordinated with another shelter to get these dogs, because they knew what we did, and they wanted to do something different, and I guess kind of give these 4 dogs a little bit of a chance to be stars, if you will.
It's fascinating to watch this video because right now we have streaming. It's video inside the prison yard, and you see the inmates, and they're working with these dogs, and they have smiles on their faces, and it just seems to be mutually beneficial for both sides. One of your inmates noted they get to interact with the community through this program too.
It really means the world for us to be able to see the dogs we train and interact with the community. It's part of integrating us back into the community for when we're going home. A lot of us here are actually going home soon.
I took note of that, him saying a lot of us are going home here. There's an interesting dynamic, Patty, because you're preparing these dogs for life. The inmates are outside of the facility, while the people caring for them, in many cases, are also preparing for life outside of the prison. Is that something, when you think about this program and you see the inmates in your work and what they're doing with these Ridglan dogs, that you also think about?
Yes, because we want them, when they get out to society, we want them to be successful members. If you just put them in a prison and lock them up and don't give them anything and any resources and any outlets, we haven't done anything to help them change. And by doing this, we're helping them change. They might be living next door to you. And I would be fully confident to have one of these guys living next door to me, knowing what they do here.
How long are they hanging out for, Patty? How many weeks will you have these dogs at your facility?
So typically we take a dog in, we do a minimum of 8 weeks. They have been with us, the first 2 for about 14, the next 2 for about 6. We're getting close on the first 2. We just want to make sure that they have everything they need, because like I said, they did need a little bit more than most dogs, just overcoming their fear and things like that. But in the very near future, we don't have a date yet, but.
Patty, we just have about a minute left here as we wrap things up. When the Ridglan Beagles eventually leave the prison for families of their own, what do you hope that the inmates who worked with them so hard take away from the experience?
Knowing that they changed the lives of these little dogs, which they know they have, and the families that they're going to, they want to know they want them to know how much these dogs mean to them and to all of us. And to them, the biggest thing is once these dogs go, we always ask the adopters, please get follow-up. That is the most rewarding thing to the handlers, to get follow-up, to see how they're doing after and to hear how they're doing after. That to them is the biggest thing. It just puts so many smiles on their faces and makes their day, because then they know what they've done is all worth it.
That's Patty Hubble, Deputy Warden at the Alger Correctional Facility. Inmates in Michigan, helping the research dogs from Wisconsin learn how to be pets. Thanks so much, Patty. We appreciate it.
And make sure you follow our page, Dogs of the MDOC.
So somebody who does follow that page, and when I was looking at a couple months ago, I saw this, and we've been following it so closely that there were many more developments that I wanted to stay on top of before this. But I kind of had this in my back pocket, that this is another angle that at some point would be interesting. So I've been taking a peek at their page for a little bit here and some of the videos. And one of the comments I noted from somebody who does follow that page said, a program like this is where I would like to see my tax money going. Saving a dog while offering vocational training, and I'm sure making a change in most prisoners' mindsets and giving therapeutic benefits. What a great way to pay back society and be able to rehab. And then kind of went on to say, I'd hire these guys in a heartbeat. But I thought that was really telling that you have somebody watching this saying, you know what? All these things that your tax money goes to, and sometimes it's a waste, could see the benefits on both sides of this program.
Very interesting stuff. It's 1227 here on WTMJ. We've got news coming up.
Accident Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wicker, Chief Homebuyer Helper with Wisconsin's own Accident Mortgage. Nicer homes are still getting multiple offers over asking, and there's only one winner per listing. I want to help you be that winner, which is why I just increased the rock-solid pre-approval guarantee to $10,000. It's all about getting the seller to pick your offer over the others. So AccuNet is now guaranteeing in writing to pay the seller 10,000 American bucks if we can't make good on the terms of your fully verified rock-solid pre-approval. Banks don't do that. We're willing to stand behind our work and stand behind you with a $10,000 guarantee that sellers will definitely notice. Maybe you've been writing offers and losing, which feels terrible, or maybe you're just starting out. Either way, don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval and let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Give the seller 10,000 reasons to say yes to your offer with AccuNet's new $10,000 rock-solid seller guarantee. Get started with yours today at accunet.com.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
When you run a team, you want great uniforms, and you know selling spiritwear is vital. That's why Burkhart Sporting Goods will create a free custom website for you to sell your families and players the coolest spiritwear from Nike and Under Armour, as well as the basics, while helping you fundraise at the same time. We take the hassle out of coordinating your team's apparel and make shopping and buying easy. So when you need awesome spiritwear and uniforms for your organization, you can't beat Burkhart.
You can't beat Burkhart.
Picture this, a perfect summer evening, great friends, and dinner on the patio overlooking a beautiful course. That's Racine Country Club. More than golf, it's a place to relax, gather, and belong. A new energy is here, and you're invited to experience it. From great food to unforgettable events, it's a lifestyle built around community. Whether it's a quick 9 after work, dinner with friends, or a weekend with family, Racine Country Club offers something for everyone, year-round. Discover what's new at Racine Country Club. Visit racinecountryclub.com.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Friday, August 21st. Your top story, getting to stay on the ballot in Wisconsin.
I'm Jessica Ty. Watch out for storms today.
Storms are possible. Light rain falling right now, high 78. Storms ending tonight at a low of 64.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. The defense has rested in Lindsay Clancy's murder trial. The Massachusetts mother admits to killing her 3 children, but the defense says she's not criminally responsible because she was suffering from postpartum psychosis. Here's ABC News legal contributor Shauna Lloyd.
They are looking at her behavior because they want to ensure that this is something that's occurring due to the mental defect and not because it is premeditated. And that's what the defense is looking to highlight with this witness.
Closing arguments are expected next week. New York residents on Long Island are recovering after severe storms, including a tornado, which blew through the area overnight. Dover, Delaware also reported a tornado. And Prince Harry is one of several public figures who's been ordered to pay £9.5 million, about $13 million, to the Daily Mail. It comes after the former British royal and 5 others, including Elton John, lost an invasion of privacy case against that British newspaper. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:31. Decision Wisconsin. A Republican candidate for state Senate wins a legal challenge that sought to remove her from the November ballot.
A Dane County judge denied a temporary injunction, asking a judge to declare Michelle Magadance Skinner ineligible to run. The lawsuit filed by the state Senate Democratic Committee argued that Skinner is primarily a resident of Georgia and has improperly voted in both states. Skinner is an Eau Claire County supervisor running against incumbent Democratic State Senator Jeff Smith in the 31st District in western Wisconsin. She will remain on the November ballot. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
A dozen people serving prison time in Wisconsin make their case for clemency today.
The 12 cases are among more than 800 applications submitted since Governor Tony Evers revived Wisconsin's commutation process this spring. 5 of the people being heard by the board today received life sentences for crimes committed as juveniles. Republican State Senator Van Wangard is criticizing the process, saying prosecutors involved in the cases largely oppose shortening the sentences. The governor's office telling WisPolitics the board only makes recommendations. Any decision to shorten a sentence ultimately rests with the governor. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Cases of E. coli and salmonella linked to alfalfa sprouts in Wisconsin.
The Wisconsin Department of Health Services confirmed 17 cases of E. coli and salmonella came from the Everything Sprouts and Calco brands, which has led to 1 hospitalization. DHS says if you have these sprouts in the home, throw them away immediately. If you have eaten them, monitor for salmonella symptoms, which usually begin 6 hours to 6 days after eating contaminated materials. Wisconsin sees around 1,000 salmonella cases each year. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
The Brewers' final community night of the season is bringing more than baseball to the ballpark.
Black Culture Fest returns to American Family Field for a second year in a row on Friday, celebrating Milwaukee's black culture, businesses, and community. Renell Washington, co-founder of Social X MKE, tells WTMJ.
Everybody had the opportunity to just experience, a little something different. So we're excited to put together this festival in partnership with the Brewers. I think everybody will be really excited about what they'll see. There's something for youth, there's something for young adult, and obviously those who are a little more seasoned to be a part of it.
Fans can check out a black-owned business marketplace, local marching bands, a lowrider car show, and a pregame DJ throughout the game. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
And with the possibility of strong storms later today, the Storm Prediction Center is upgrading most of southeastern Wisconsin to a slight risk for severe weather. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson.
Later this afternoon, more likely into the evening, given increasing dew points, some more instability, could see some reforming storms across southeastern Wisconsin. This would be the best opportunity for strong to severe storms. That is all out of here by 10 o'clock tonight.
Those storms could bring about damaging winds and hail with an isolated tornado possible. Your complete 5-day forecast is coming up.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:34.
Experience 90 years of history this week at the Fox and Hounds, the Up North Timbered Supper Club near Holy Hill. WTMJ's John Mercure here. It is my favorite place. Make some great memories at the Fox and Hounds. The Friday haddock fish fry is all you care to eat and one of the best. All other dinners are buy one, get one free. The pan-fried walleye, that's so good. The pecan-crusted salmon, my wife loves that. The spinach and cheese tortellini, the surf and turf, any entree, all buy one, get one free. Try the ribs. Desserts are buy one, get one free. Relax with an old-fashioned. Choose from 20 bourbons, more than 120 wines from around the world. rustic bar, 8 unique dining rooms. The Fox and Hounds cuddles the Kettle Moraine Forest near Holy Hill. The summer drive is a Wisconsin must-see. Escape from your kitchen with a free dinner at the Fox and Hounds, serving from 4 p.m. Dine early. Saturday, buy one prime rib dinner, get one free. Enjoy Saturday lunch from 11 till 2. Visit foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Call and reserve your free dinner.
And now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, "I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house." Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. She also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for roofing and also replacement windows, decks, and of course siding. They've done it all at the Matzik households over the years. It started with windows, transforming our 1953 Milwaukee home into something beautiful. And then, on our new house, brand new LP Smart Side siding. Built 8 years ago, our house still looks brand new. Make sure to connect with Eric about patio projects as well. They've expanded our outdoor living space to an area fit with a beautiful cedar pergola, paver patio, gas fire pit, and more. The best in lighting? I can control it from my phone. All there at Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Take the next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. It's a battle of first-place teams this afternoon as the Brewers take on the Braves in Game 1 of a 3-game series. Jacob Mizorowski and Chris Sale, the pitching matchup today. Sunday's series finale will take place in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, in conjunction with the Little League World Series. Brewers President of Baseball Operations, Matt Arnold, will be there.
You know, the guys are excited because it is a fun thing, and it makes you feel like a kid when you're out there, and I think that's going to be great.
More on the home game away from home with Brewers President of Business Operations, Rick Schlesinger, coming up in just a couple of minutes. Coverage of today's game begins at 2:35. And the preseason continues for the Packers tonight in Denver against the Broncos. Green Bay wraps up the preseason 1 week from tonight at Lambeau Field against the Arizona Cardinals.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. I have some good news here. I-43 South, very close to Brown Deer Road. The right shoulder was blocked because of a car that's broken down and traffic was moving very slowly. But it just left. That broken down vehicle is out of there and traffic is moving freely once again, so those backups are going to clear here shortly. Also, 4394 North at the ramp from Lapham Street, left shoulder is blocked there due to a car that's broken down. Just be careful. It's wet. The roads are wet. We're dealing with the rain right now and traffic is a little bit slower.
Yeah, rain falling in downtown Milwaukee right now. Nothing severe. That could pick up a little bit later on this evening. High 78. May not feel like that when the rain is coming down. Overnight low 64. Tomorrow, slight chance of rain early, then primarily a sunny day with a high of 78. It's 61 right now in Milwaukee at 12:39. Well, a very unique few days here for the Milwaukee Brewers. It's not often that you wrap up a homestand with a road game, but that is what's going to happen to the Brewers this weekend when they travel out to Pennsylvania. And then a rare Friday afternoon home game in Milwaukee. You don't often see a 3:10 start at American Family Field on a Friday. So what is going on here? We welcome in Brewers President of Business Operations. It's Rick Schlesinger. Hey, Rick.
Good morning. Or good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It is. It's a little rainy out there, but hey, it's still a good afternoon. Okay, so Greg hit it right the head on the nail. The nail on the head. Yes, it's Friday. Thank goodness. This is a unique game. 3:10. Rick, why is it a 3:10 start and not a night game tonight?
Yeah, so we have been doing a little bit of experimentation with some Friday home starts. We've had a couple of other 3:10s this year. We did one of those last year. Very successful from an attendance perspective. I think it's just a little novelty. Also, it gives our players a little extra rest time because we have a 1:10 start on Saturday, which is unusual. Usually our Saturday games are 6:10 starts. So we have a 1:10 start. And the reason we have a 1:10 start on Saturday is because the team is flying to play that game in Williamsport on Sunday. So we wanted to give the players time to finish the game and get to travel ultimately to Williamsport, Pennsylvania for the Sunday night game against the Braves.
So does baseball have rules about when you can start a game on a given day, Rick? Is it a challenge to try and pull off a 3:10 first pitch? What do you have another team coming in who might have to travel, and their schedule obviously is a consideration as well?
Yeah, there are rules. We don't have any problems scheduling a game on a Friday at a 3:10 versus a 7:10 or 6:40, but there are different rules usually on getaway days. So Thursdays is usually a getaway day for the visiting team or sometimes for us. So generally those are day games because depending on how far the teams travel, in terms of how long their flights are, that determines when we can schedule a game. So, for example, if we were home and playing the Seattle Mariners on Thursday and they were flying back to Seattle, we would not be able to have a Thursday night game scheduled against the Mariners here if the Mariners had a Friday home game to have to play. So there are rules like that the Players Association and Major League Baseball works out in every collective bargaining agreement.
Rick, this is going to be special in Williamsport. Is this a full circle moment for some of your guys, for some of the team members on the Brewers right now?
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. I mean, a lot of our players played Little League, and I honestly don't know that any of them made it to the World Series in Williamsport, but obviously when you're playing Little League, that's the ultimate goal. So they're going to have a great experience. They're going to go to the Little League field and meet the players that are the kids that are participating in the Little League World Series, and then obviously we'll have batting practice, and then we'll play at Bowman Field in front of about 2,500 people. So it'll be a very intimate setting, but obviously national televised game and a little pomp and circumstance. And I think, it'll be great to sort of soak it all in. And I've never been to Williamsport, so I'm looking forward to sort of enjoying the experience. My Little League career did not matriculate into any success, so I'll be doing this as a visitor and observer.
When do conversations for a game like this start, Rick? Obviously, you have to give up a home game for it, and the crowd right now is very robust and a lot of energy when you're playing home games as the best team in baseball. To give up a home game for something like this, obviously it's a unique circumstance. When do those conversations begin with baseball?
Yeah, usually a year and a half or so in advance. So we obviously had discussions with Major League Baseball back in 2024 about participating, and we were vectoring towards the Little League game. We also obviously would be interested in the game in Iowa at the Field of Dreams, and maybe that'll happen in the future, as well as potentially games outside the United States, which are always interesting and fun and sort of special. So what baseball does is they look at teams and try to fit in, and it worked out well because we're going to play, obviously, in Williamsport on Sunday. Then we have an off day, and then we play the Mets at Citi Field on Tuesday. So the travel is very easy for the team to go from Williamsport Sunday night after the game to New York, have a day off, and then play the Mets on Tuesday. So it worked out well from that perspective.
Rick, as we're watching the radar here for these strong storms that are likely to hit later this afternoon and this evening, National Weather Service says a tornado cannot be ruled out. Hopefully we don't have one. We've had enough already this year in Wisconsin. But it just reminded me of the storms that we had earlier this week. And I know you guys had the big sign up on the Jumbotron alerting everybody. We heard the phones going off. Some people were surprised, though, that the Brewers kept on playing through it. Can you walk us through how you guys make those important decisions?
Sure. I guess the main thing that I like to tell fans is from a safety perspective, safety is number one. And number two, this is probably the strongest, most durable building in the entire state. And when fans are inside with the roof closed and the panels closed, it's an incredibly safe environment. And so we obviously were in touch with our meteorologists, and we're in touch with all of the weather prognosticators and making sure that there was no danger. If there was an active tornado that was touching down or looked like it was touching down in any vicinity here, we would have gone to, having people get out of the seats and go into the concourses. But watching everything and getting the best information from our weather forecasters, there was no risk to the public safety. So we continue to play. And I'm just glad that, people were able to come here and be safe. And we had very little damage at the ballpark other than a few downed trees and things like that. But yeah, weather is always a concern. And even though we're a very safe building and a structurally sound building, we do pay attention and want to make sure the fans are safe.
Yeah, my wife had even asked, they're still playing, huh? And I was like, well, yeah, I guess. I mean, it seems like a safe spot to be. You don't want everybody to rush out to the parking lot. She had wondered, do you try and put people in the restrooms, or do you use the concourse? Where's the best spot to be?
Yeah, the concourses are the best spots to be, and we have, the good news is we have wide concourses, and while there are windows in some of the concourses, there's enough room to move people away from windows, and obviously, we're just very careful about how we're doing that. And the good news is there's so much area in the ballpark to put people in if we want to move them from the seating bowl, that we can do it, orderly, safely. There doesn't need to be a mad rush to leave the seats. Because candidly, I will tell you that even in the seats, you're extremely safe. And the reality is, with the roof closed, this is a incredibly sound structure, and there's no calculated wind or tornado that could damage the roof. Now, obviously, we have the movable panels out in the outfield, and we would move fans away from that area. Those panels are very secure, but obviously they're not steel roof panels. But candidly, if we kept people in the seats, that's also a very safe option.
Rick, we always appreciate you joining us here. It's going to be a unique day and a unique weekend here for the Milwaukee Brewers. If I were to look at your calendar right now, by the way, how many playoff planning meetings would be on the horizon here in the next couple of weeks?
I would say daily.
Yeah.
The good news, the reality is we're all superstitious, but we also have to plan, and it's nice to be in a position where we've got some experience. So, we've been through this drill before. It's a labor of love, but, every year there's a little bit of a different take, and we're ready to go. And hopefully it's a long run in October, and we have to plan for a lot of games and a lot of excitement. And the reality is we'll be ready, and I know the fans are excited. It's funny to think we still have a lot of games left to go, but you still really have to start planning for these things months in advance, because it takes a small army of people to make sure that the postseason games come off without a hitch.
Well, potential playoff preview today at American Family Field. Jacob Mizorowski, Chris Sale. Amazing pitching matchup as the Brewers welcome in the Braves. Rick, always great to check in. We'll do it again soon. Thanks so much. Have a fun weekend.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
October baseball. It's the best. Let's do it.
I love the idea of 2,500 people in the stands. And a lot of the people in the stands on Sunday in Williamsport will be the families, the players participating in the Little League World Series. It really will be kind of a throwback. I loved how you phrased that, kind of a full circle moment. Yeah, it's where these guys started in some respect, right? At the youth level, playing baseball out in the yard in an organized league, whatever it was. And here they are now giving back. Amazing.
Yeah, you don't forget those memories from being a kid like that.
12:48 on WTMJ. The Weekend Review is coming up.
Many people feeling close to retirement ask themselves, do I have enough?
Am I missing something?
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, we provide clarity during our complimentary, no-pressure consultation. We're independent advisors using big firm tools with a boutique-style approach.
And no crickets. We stay in touch so you're never left wondering.
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, let us show you how to capture the upside, limit the downside, and feel good inside.
Visit dwstrategies.com.
Securities and investment services offered through Mosaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
Well, Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is setting the stage to rock your socks off. The rest of the month of August, you can jam out with the Real Rock Off. It's going on right now. Big-time prizes to the tune of $300,000 in cash and prizes. Why not be a part of this jam session? Play with your Potawatomi rewards card for entries. Free to sign up if you're not already a rewards member. It's good stuff here. Plenty of perks. Thursday nights, there will be a game show battleground for your share of cash and reward play. It's called Real Rock Off. It's only at Potawatomi. More information online. Must be 21 years or older and a rewards member to play.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga. Nobody likes backups, not on I-94 and definitely not in your own backyard. That's why I'm so glad we called Comfort Awnings. Now our outdoors time isn't delayed by rain or the scorching afternoon sun. One touch of a button gives us instant shade and shelter while also protecting us from harmful UV rays. So instead of heading inside when it gets too hot or starts to rain, we can enjoy the patio for longer. Don't let any more of the summer pass you by. Right now, get $200 off any awning or screen. Call 414-Awnings or visit comfortawnings.com.
Bark and Scratch Outpost.
Roxy's Resources and Awareness Drive-Thru will be at Bark and Scratch Outpost Sunday, August 23rd from 9 to 11 with free pet food and supplies. 5835 West Blue Mound Road. That's Sunday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. August 23rd. Anyone struggling with pet food can stop by. At Bark and Scratch Outpost, we think outside the bag.
MilwaukeePetFood.com. Bark and Scratch Outpost.
See every smile, every milestone, every moment that matters most. From the moment you walk into Shopko Optical, you'll feel welcomed, valued, and genuinely cared for. The team at Shopko Optical takes time to understand your concerns, explain your options, and answer questions so you feel confident in your care. Whether you're due for a comprehensive eye exam or looking for the right eyewear, they're here to support your vision and eye health every step of the way. Create your personalized eye care plan. Visit shopko.com today.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests. That's WTMJ.com/contests.
Well, some light rain falling right now in Milwaukee, a little heavier down toward the state line. Keep an eye out here. You have the potential for storms popping up here later this afternoon and evening. High 78, low 64, though it's 61 right now in Milwaukee. Tomorrow, maybe a stray shower early, then most of the day is sunny with a high of 78. 61, wet in Milwaukee at 12:51.
A fight at Spin City. The Brewers bring the thunder. Record-breaking debt and more. It's a Week in Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go back.
All right, we're moving in with the horses. Large fight.
7 people were arrested on Sunday night after multiple fights broke out in the Spin City area.
It didn't even take 24 hours for this already to get used in the Wisconsin gubernatorial race. Tom Tiffany, this is Milwaukee County under David Crowley, crime, chaos, and at least one officer punched.
The county exec, I don't think, had a great response.
State Fair is actually controlled by the state of Wisconsin, in which is controlled by the Republican-controlled legislature.
So it's kind of on them. It is the silly season.
There is a tornado warning, a rare one, issued for Milwaukee.
And the two-strike pitch as phones start buzzing at American Family Field, all in unison.
Then the Brewers bought the Thunder inside.
High fly, right center. It is gone! Back it goes! Gone! The first big league homer for Luis Lara as the Brewers rout the Mariners by a final of 22-0.
The guy who apparently we were going to trade bested the guy we were trying to get.
And Logan Henderson with 7 innings here this afternoon at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, I know I got to be really good because he's really good.
A massive fire at the future site of the West Allis Public Works facility. Construction workers on the roof had to rush to escape.
No injuries were reported. A few bystanders, they were a little nervous, but they saw all the fire crews come out.
Is the day of reckoning finally here for social media?
Meta knew that all of this constant scrolling was interfering with kids' mental health. Is it really reasonable to say that mental health issues are a direct result of kids scrolling when there's so much more going on in a 12 or 13-year-old's life?
Flock itself is rolling out new safeguards. The Milwaukee Police Department is reviewing those, but has already created a new audit to identify potentially suspicious searches.
Part of our audit is what helped catch the second officer.
They even showed the system to Flock. What was the response?
You're the only department we know of that has this.
Where are these appropriate and where are they not appropriate?
Where are they appropriate?
Controlling the cost of higher education education while not ignoring rising operational costs. Today, the Universities of Wisconsin is announcing a 4-year tuition pledge aimed at doing just that.
In order to make the math work and to make higher education more affordable in the state of Wisconsin, we need help from Wisconsin taxpayers.
A few moments later.
We address affordability by committing to hold the line on tuition for the following 2 years and to limit any increase for the next 2 subsequent years.
The national debt has now climbed to over $40 trillion, double what it was just 10 years ago when President Trump first took office.
Do you think most people even care about this?
I don't know if it's don't care versus don't understand.
TV and movie actress Hayden Panettiere has died in her home in Greenville, South Carolina.
She would go on to star in Heroes and as the troubled country star Juliet Barnes in Nashville. This coming Friday would have been Hayden Panettiere's 37th birthday.
There have been media reports of problems on board the U.S. Abraham Lincoln, which has been at sea since November.
Everybody wants to be home at the same time you don't want to leave your shipmates.
The USS Lincoln is on its way home. Sound from the boat right now as all the sailors are singing. Can you imagine being on the service cleaning detail when that boat arrives? Who has to go in there and clean that thing out?
It is the 100th anniversary of South Milwaukee Arcade.
There's been 7 300s by 6 ladies and now 2 800s. I still get the goosebumps while it's happening. I don't know if people understand that's history right there. That's part of it.
Victor's Voyage is an American amber red ale by Leinenkugel, created in partnership with the Minnesota Vikings. And we have a picture up there. Look at that. Gonna need Liney's to destroy this swill immediately.
What a week, eh? What a week.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when we have the products you need and trust at unbeatable prices? Right now, Blaine's brand foam kneeling pads just $8.99. Crawford garage storage hooks 15% off. And assorted fishing lures, plastics, and jigs are 20% off. Plus, Chick Days start Friday, August 28th with a variety of egg layers and meat birds. Find value for the work you do every day at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Well, if you're anything like us, well, you know, school's about to begin. Summer is winding toward an end. You want to get that last long weekend trip in the books, get it planned. Now you're worried about the dog, right? Well, don't worry. You got the Hounds and Tap. It's in Menominee Falls, my go-to place for doggy daycare, boarding, and grooming services. It's all right there under one roof. No place like it. Right off Silver Spring. It's a wonderful place run by wonderful people, and they will take care of your dog. Our dog Knight loves it there. Every time Knight is boarded or going through daycare, we get emails about his stay. Is he having fun? Has he met new friends? We are up to date thanks to the Hounds and Tap. There's also dozens of pictures on their Facebook page. They update it regularly each and every day. Just part of the top-tier services offered at the Hounds and Tap. You can also check out the game tonight. Whatever game you're interested in watching, you can watch it at the Hounds and Tap at their beautiful indoor-outdoor tavern. No place like it. Doggy daycare, boarding, grooming services. You have fun. The dog has fun at the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls.
Wet basements and foundation problems? For over 20 years, Accurate has been the Fix-It Show's trusted experts in foundation repair and waterproofing. Whether it's cracked walls, drain tile issues, or water in your basement, they've got you covered. Don't wait until the problem gets worse. Call Accurate Basement Repair today at 414-744-6900 or visit AccurateBasementRepair.com. They're not just good, they're accurate.
What do you have going on the rest of your Wisconsin summer and fall? WTMJ's John Mercure here. If you still got some time available and don't have your plans solidified, let us help you on Experience Wisconsin. It's Saturdays at 1 on WTMJ. We explore different regions, people, activities, help get you all set. On this week's show, it is Whitewater, it is Rhinelander. Lots of cool stuff going on. Join us for Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays at 1, right here on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Accident mortgages and equal housing lender, NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wicker, Chief Homebuyer Helper with Wisconsin's own Accident Mortgage. Nicer homes are still getting multiple offers over asking, and there's only one winner per listing. I want to help you be that winner, which is why I just increased the rock-solid pre-approval guarantee to $10,000. It's all about getting the seller to pick your offer over the others. So AccuNet is now guaranteeing in writing to pay the seller 10,000 American bucks if we can't make good on the terms of your fully verified rock-solid pre-approval. Banks don't do that. We're willing to stand behind our work and stand behind you with a $10,000 guarantee that sellers will definitely notice. Maybe you've been writing offers and losing, which feels terrible, or maybe you're just starting out. Either way, don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval and let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Give the seller 10,000 reasons to say yes to your offer with AccuNet's new $10,000 rock-solid seller guarantee. Get started with yours today at accunet.com.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
See Europe from a completely new perspective with Fox World Travel and Avalon Waterways. Cruising down legendary rivers like the Danube or the Rhine, your luxury boutique hotel travels with you. Relax in award-winning panorama suites featuring wall-to-wall windows, enjoy premium local wine and dining, and step off directly into the heart of historic castles and villages. Your next incredible river cruise awaits. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com today.
The Titans of a National League collide in Milwaukee. Brewers, Braves, showtime.
High fly, right center. It is up. It is back. It is gone.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts at 2:35.
Lara, fly ball to deep left. Back it goes. It is up and gone.
Don't miss a pitch on the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 1 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Friday, August 21st. Your top story, a Michigan man arrested for stalking in Wisconsin.
I'm Jessica Ty. Some of the Ridglan Beagles are now in prison.
Some strong thunderstorms are possible later on this afternoon and evening. High 78. Storms ending eventually tonight. Partly cloudy at a low of 64. 62 and light rain falling in Milwaukee at 101. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, a man from Michigan arrested for stalking a woman in Wisconsin.
The woman contacted Kewaskum police after receiving repeated messages from a man she didn't know through multiple social media platforms. The alleged messages became more threatening, and the man eventually found the woman's home address and phone number. Police arrested the 28-year-old man in Kewaskum Thursday afternoon after he drove in from Michigan. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
4 of the Beagles from the now-closed Ridglan Farms Breeding and Research Facility are in prison. Inmates at the Alger Correctional Facility in Michigan are helping those dogs learn to be pets. Deputy Warden Patty Hubble on Wisconsin's Midday News.
When the Beagles first came in, a lot of them hadn't been on grass, hadn't been, just walked, hadn't been on a leash or a collar, other than maybe coming from the shelter. So they had a lot of adjustment outside of our normal dogs that come in, being touched and handled, seeing people moving around, the fresh air, bugs, birds, things they had never seen before.
Hubble tells us prison inmates are ideal to work with the dogs because they're available 24/7 for support.
Local transportation projects are receiving a boost from the state to help reduce congestion and improve air quality. In Milwaukee County, about $13 million in funding will help replace 30 diesel buses, add equipment to 77 buses, and optimize traffic signals at more than 30 intersections. The city of Milwaukee is receiving about $7 million for improvements on North Teutonia Avenue, including new bus stops and other pedestrian upgrades. Wisconsin DOT awarded more than $31 million statewide for 13 total projects.
A Texas appeals court reduces the $50 million judgment that InfoWars founder Alex Jones was ordered to pay for his false claims about the Sandy Hook massacre in 2012. ABC's Sherry Preston with the update.
The parents of a 6-year-old murdered at Sandy Hook Elementary sued Alex Jones for claiming the deadly mass shooting was staged, but the judge said the harassment the couple endured because of the lie wasn't enough to justify the $50 million judgment they were awarded. Texas caps such judgments at $750,000, which each parent will get. Alex Jones still faces a $1.4 billion separate judgment in Connecticut.
Despite the multiple financial judgments against him, Jones has yet to make any payments to the victims' families.
Well, the mayor of Gary, Indiana, is not happy with how long it's taken to restore power to thousands of customers still in the dark from last week's flooding. Mayor Eddie Melton calling on power company NIPSCO to bring in more crews and make the city a top priority.
There's a responsibility for the corporation in terms of making sure that the right amount of manpower is on the ground throughout Northwest Indiana. I know this is not just a Gary situation, but Gary has the largest population that's impacted right now, and it's been 11 days.
Melton says relief funds are available to Gary residents. NIPSCO expects power to be fully restored by next week, Tuesday. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Good day here for the Dow. It's up nearly 450 points at 53,208. NASDAQ also up today about 120 points at 26,183. And the S&P 500 up 35 at 7675. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
What to watch for tonight as the Packers face the Broncos. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:05.
Are you sick and tired of overpriced fish fries? I am. I recommend the fish fry at the Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure. The haddock fish fry is all you can eat, $8.99. You'll pay twice that at other restaurants. I love the Mine Shaft fish fry. After a long week, escape from your kitchen with a cold beverage and a delicious all-you-can-eat fish fry. Desserts are buy one, get one free, and a kids menu starts at $3.99. And those kids can safely play in the world-class game room, quietly set away from the dining area while you finish up your meal. Take your family to the Mine Shaft today for the all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry at just $8.99. It's an incredible value. That's a crazy low price. The Saturday breakfast buffet is all you can eat for under $10. The Mine Shaft in downtown Hartford, lots of seating, lots of close parking. Also in Oshkosh near the EAA. Dig into that all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry today. Serving from 10:30. Arrive early, beat the rush. Google the Mine Shaft restaurant and enjoy that fish fry.
That'll be $84.52.
Perfect. Grab the bags, honey.
Mom, why do you always check your phone before we pay?
I'm just claiming my cash back on the Upside app. Since we're getting the groceries here and we filled up the car on the way, I've already earned enough this morning to pay for that pizza night we're having Friday.
Wait, so the app pays for pizza?
Not exactly, but the cash I earn on stuff we need helps us pay for the stuff we want. It's just a little win for our family every week.
Get more out of your everyday. Upside is the free app that gets you cash back on routine purchases like gas, groceries, and dining out at more than 100,000 locations nationwide. No points, no rebates, just cash back straight to your wallet. Download the free Upside app and use promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus on your first purchase. That's promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus. Remember, use promo code ACT5.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Healthy starters expected to play, but tonight's preseason game against the Broncos will largely be a showcase of the depth of the Packers roster.
There's a good handful of guys that you know are locks, and then that's something that obviously communicate with Goody on when we're making those decisions, but there's still, a handful of spots certainly up for grabs.
Packers' 90-player roster must be trimmed to 53 by 3 o'clock on the afternoon of August 30th. Tonight's game an 8 o'clock kick from Denver. And the Brewers begin a 3-game series against the first-place Braves this afternoon. Cy Young Award frontrunner Jacob Misiorowski for the Brewers. Former American League Cy Young Award winner Chris Sale goes for Atlanta. Should be a great one. Coverage gets underway at 2:35 on WTMJ. Brewers begin the day 5 games ahead of the Cubs for first place in the NL Central.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have a new crash. Heads up here. The crash is on the ramp from Oklahoma Avenue to 41-894 North. And the traffic is definitely starting to back up. It is getting very slow. In fact, right now I see some semis that are completely stopped on the interstate. I do see emergency responders are already there at the scene. It looks like somebody is talking to the driver. I see one car off to the side, so hopefully this is just one vehicle involved in this one. It seems to be, unless it's possible that there's another car behind that I can't see because of the zoomed-in camera at the moment. But this is definitely clogging things up as a brand-new crash on the ramp from Oklahoma Avenue to 41-894 North.
Save now during the Ken Michaels Furniture Labor Day sale. Ken Michaels Furniture, where you can enjoy unprecedented saving on better quality furniture and mattresses during their factory-sponsored Labor Day sale. Stop in today and save.
It looks like the rain has stopped momentarily here in downtown Milwaukee. Temperatures starting to tick up just a little bit. It's about 65 right now. Plenty of clouds. Chance for storms later on tonight. Some could be on the heavy side. That exists in the forecast through the evening hours. Eventually, it'll just be cloudy. Overnight low 63 degrees. Tomorrow, stray morning shower possible, then sunny and a high of 78. 65 degrees right now in Milwaukee under cloudy skies.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Friendly reminder, Brewers baseball begins at 2:35 this afternoon, a 3:10 first pitch. So afternoon baseball here for the Brewers on a Friday. The last time they did this, they had the annual alumni event.
Oh, that's right.
Annual,
that was
right?
fun. Yeah.
It was a home run derby last season and an alumni baseball game, a 3-inning game this year. He had the captive audience, so he did a 3:10 first pitch on a Friday. There'll be programming following the game for those going to the game. We'll take you up to first pitch here.
Gotta love that roof today.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, hope you don't have sprouts in your lunch today. Wisconsin is included in a multi-state outbreak of salmonella and E. coli connected to alfalfa sprouts.
Health officials in Wisconsin and Minnesota are now warning of sprouts that may be contaminated with E. coli or salmonella. Both states reporting at least 41 illnesses so far. It remains unclear if other states may also be affected. The sprouts come from Everything Sprouts, a Minnesota grower that had previously been warned of insanitary conditions at their facility by the FDA. Health officials saying the product should not be eaten and thrown away. Yuri Benajad, ABC News, New York.
When we first got word of this, I thought, you're kidding. Now the sprouts? Doesn't it feel like the last couple months that it's just been one food after another?
Well, the product shouldn't be eaten because it's terrible to begin with. I mean, what are you doing with alfalfa sprouts?
I don't know if I've ever actually, as an adult, bought alfalfa sprouts.
I definitely have never purchased it. It has appeared on some like tuna salad subs that I've had. It's sort of a thing, or you might have it on a bagel, but I'm never buying it. Sometimes it appears on something that I've purchased, but I'm not buying it specifically.
Is it really bad though, or is it just kind of
it's kind of a nothing burger. Like it doesn't do anything for me.
It gives you a little. If it's on top of your bagel, it adds a little something, I guess, to the look of it. Maybe it has a little bit of a crunch. Is not really the right word, but a little bite.
A little. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I do know that salmonella is bad, and so is E. coli. So if you want to rid yourself of the disaster that could follow, maybe just avoid sprouts for a minute here.
Okay, let's get back to the important part, right?
Yeah.
According to the Wisconsin Department of Health Services, 17 Wisconsinites have gotten sick already, and 1 was hospitalized.
Number 2, Miz takes the mound for the Brewers in a rare Friday afternoon game. The Packers play tonight in Denver. But locally here at Fiserv Forum, the doors are open to volleyball. 10 of the best collegiate programs in the country, including 6th-ranked Wisconsin, will begin the season tonight as part of a kickoff tournament to the regular season. These are powerhouse teams in Milwaukee. 8 of the 10 teams participating, currently ranked in the top 25. The Badgers take on 3rd-ranked Kentucky tonight at 8 o'clock and 7th-ranked Louisville tomorrow at 3.
I don't know the last time that we've been that fast of a turnaround. It's been years, and certainly I don't know if we've ever played this type of turnaround against, these 2 elite teams and teams that don't play the same styles. So it's going to be a heck of a challenge for us, heck of an opportunity. Certainly, I think everybody with our team and our program is pretty excited about it. And we're going to need Badger fans being loud and help us out because, although we're excited about the growth, we're going there to try to win some matches.
It's Badgers head coach Kelly Sheffield. If you can't make it to Fiserv Forum, we'll actually have the broadcast of the women's volleyball match tonight. So number 6, Wisconsin, number 3, Kentucky. That game tonight on WTMJ, beginning at 7:30.
Love that. Number 3, a new move from Walmart aimed at lowering prices.
Walmart says it is putting its $2.9 billion tariff refund toward lower prices. The company says its customers are feeling squeezed, especially by gas prices. They're above $4 a gallon as families contend with high prices across the board.
That's ABC's Will Reeve. Prices, especially prices at the grocery store, are going to be a key issue in the midterm elections. Remember, President Trump campaigned on bringing prices down.
In a new statement, the White House says the president has, quote, implemented policies that have brought prices of key essentials ranging from prescription drugs to eggs to auto insurance down in historic ways. But a new poll finds 41% of Americans are concerned about being able to afford groceries over the next few months.
That's a lot of people. Over a 5-year stretch, grocery prices have gone up more than 20%. That is significant. You see that in your budget. Coming up at 2:15, we'll dive into the impact higher grocery prices could have on the race for governor here in Wisconsin.
Coming up next, want to be a Badger? Good luck. It's 1:14.
Hi, I'm Kirsten Hildebrand of Hildebrand Law Firm. Since 2001, we've proudly helped Milwaukee families and business owners protect what matters most. We combine the experience of a larger law firm with the personal attention you deserve. We take the time to listen, explain your options, and create a plan that's right for you. When the stakes are high, you need trusted legal advocates who will stand by your side every step of the way. Protect your family, your legacy, and your peace of mind. Visit hildebrandlawfirm.net to schedule a consultation today.
Premium pizza at a great price. Talking about Palermo's, talking about Connie's, made by Palermo's, on sale right now at Festival Foods through the 25th of August. That's a limited time deal, $4.99. Premium pizza, great price. Festival Foods, find Connie's in the frozen aisle. You will save until August 25th. Limited time only. Try any one of a number of fantastic tasting frozen pizzas made by Palermo's. You're going to be happy you did it. My big favorite, the Screamin' Sicilian. My wife likes the Primo Thin. My kids love pretty much anything, right? When it comes to Palermo's, it is Wisconsin's hometown pizza. It is delicious. It's the best tasting frozen pizza you're going to find, and it's made right here in the state of Wisconsin. Why not support local and eat great with Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza?
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Hey, reminder, it is summer storm season, and weather damage can be a real issue at the house. So if you think you've got a problem, remember, Tri-County Contracting gives free estimates on any potential wind or hail damage. And here's the best part, they can always work directly with your insurance. It's TriCountyContractingWI.com. Love your home again, even during the storm season, with TriCountyContractingWI.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors in Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. Every week we explore the trails and waterways of Wisconsin in the great outdoors. It's a great state on a great lake. Join me every Saturday, every weekend on WTMJ Outdoors.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Oh, one round of rain appears to be on its way out of southeastern Wisconsin. Some storms hanging on maybe a little south of Milwaukee down toward the state line. You're possibly getting some sprinkles down by you. Chance of severe weather is in the cards today. We'll keep an eye on it, and we'll check in with meteorologist Jacob Montesano coming up in about 20 minutes. Overnight low 64, tomorrow's high 78. More sun than anything, but there is a slight chance of a stray shower in the morning. It's 65 degrees in Milwaukee at 117. Well, August is a huge month for high school seniors gearing up for college. They're busy sending out applications. Usually August 1st is when you start getting them out the door. You've done your research. You've done everything you need to do. You kind of have an idea where you want to go, and you're sending out your feelers. No different here in the state of Wisconsin. Last year, 2025, a record 73,912 prospective students applied for admission at UW-Madison. Over 73,000 applicants. That is monstrous. A record number. The admission rate, also a record, but a record low, just 41%, down from 57% in 2009. So what contributes to this? Why the spike in applications, and why the limits now with acceptance? Well, you got a couple of things in play here. Number one, the Common App. This did not exist when you and I were applying for schools, Jessica. You sent a note to somebody at Indiana and me with Oshkosh and Madison and Michigan State and Arizona where I all applied, and I got this giant book in the mail. And I'm looking through the book. Do they have the major? Do they have the thing that I want to go into? And then you find the documents, you fill out the application, you mail it in. That doesn't happen anymore. It's much easier with the Common App. You can send out 1,000 applications to 1,000 participating universities.
Imagine sending out 1,000 applications, especially if you had to write an essay back in the day. Think about the time that you took to do that.
Well, there are some specifics, right? So some of these participating universities, there might be something that they require that another university does not, but nonetheless, it's one centralized set of forms. So it makes the process incredibly easy. Of the 73,912 who applied for admission at UW-Madison, just over 30,000 were admitted. And among that group, roughly 8,500 ended up enrolling. So I have two nephews. One is beginning his senior year in central Wisconsin in a smaller town, smaller high school. My other nephew is a senior, and he's already up and running with his senior year because they go to school in Illinois. They have very similar profiles, right? They're both academically involved, AP classes, grade points above 4.0, right? They're strong students. They're involved in extracurriculars. And my nephew, who lives in the state of Wisconsin, he will finish in the top 5% of his class. He is automatically admitted if he wants to go to UW-Madison.
Well, and that's new.
Automatic.
They didn't used to have that, but that new Wisconsin law guarantees automatic admission to UW-Madison for students who graduate in the top 5% of their Wisconsin high school class. Which is interesting because I remember, Madison has always been competitive. Even when we were back in school, when you were at Brookfield Central, I was at Brookfield East. Even back then, you would have a lot of people say, I cannot believe so-and-so didn't get in. They've got the GPA in this and they do the extracurriculars. It has always been very, very competitive. But this changes the game, this new Wisconsin law that guarantees those in the top 5% of their Wisconsin high school class get in.
This was signed into law by Governor Evers. It was a Republican-led bill that Governor Evers signed into law about 2 years ago. The university, as part of this, must also enroll at least 3,600 Wisconsin residents per freshman class. So if you look at your overall enrollment total, it's going to be weighted toward those applying from the state of Wisconsin, even though those applying from out of the state of Wisconsin are going to pay the freight to go to UW-Madison. But the other example now is my nephew who lives in Illinois. He's going to apply to Madison. In fact, I think he did. He's like, I don't know if I'll get in. He's got a 4.5 grade point average. He'll be top 10% of his class. Plays baseball, plays on the golf team, involved. He's the kind of student that makes sense for UW-Madison. And he's like, because of what they do in the state of Wisconsin, I'm not knocking it, by the way.
Right.
But two very similar profiles. One is automatically in. One is like, I don't know if I'm going to get in or not.
I was going to say I feel for him, but at the same time, I'm very, very happy that more Wisconsin students are getting to go to Madison because it's a great school. And I think when you look at these numbers too, it just shows you how Madison's national reputation has grown. It's been great for a long time and it keeps growing. And something that I know Madison has said they have looked at for a long time, it's a holistic review. They're not just looking at the grades. It's the grades. It's the rigor of the courses you took. So whether it's the AP courses or not, it is the essay. It's the extracurricular activities. It's leadership. There's so many factors that they look at. So not just the test scores, which is really important for a lot of kids too, because some of these kids are crazy smart, but not every kid is great on tests. So they're not just looking at the test scores, not just looking at the GPA.
Well, ACT is not even required anymore. If you get a good ACT score, you might want to include that in your application.
Was it AC? Is it ACT or is it SAT?
Madison was always ACT. It felt like to me schools out east were more reliant on the SAT than the ACT, but Madison, when I applied anyway, ACT was the thing. That's the one you needed to have. SAT, if you had it, great. You didn't need to have it. People who enrolled from out east tended to have both, but it's no longer required for admission. That changed after COVID times. If you got a good one, you'll submit that score, but if you didn't, there's no sweat.
I was checking out this article in the Journal Sentinel, and I love this. I think it's really, really smart. I didn't know this was happening. But the article talks about how Homestead in Mequon, so Homestead High School, they have this college admissions presentation every year, offering families some general advice about the application process. But the article says this year's presentation was different because it was much more specific. It was how to get into the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Yeah.
You need a little playbook these days.
Well, figuring if you can get into Madison, the likelihood of you getting to other schools, certainly in the state, are going to be high. But I understand the complication now. States want to keep in-state talent in-state students who are bright and so on. it's tough for out-of-staters at some popular universities around the country. Now, in a related story, USA Today just ranked the top party schools in the country, and Madison checks in at number 4 for those keeping score at home.
The universities never like when they get that one. I remember when Indiana got it, and all the students, friends were like, yeah. And the university was like, yeah, we're going to downplay that one.
They tend to do that. If you're interested in that one, by the way, Tulane is number 1, followed by Alabama, then Florida State.
Some of my friends are chiming in right now who went to Madison and saying it was definitely competitive back then, but it seems insane today. One of the ladies says, my neighbor who babysits for us had to wait till the end of March after getting deferred and then finally got in. She said a bunch of her friends got rejected and had really, really strong applications. Another one of my friends, her daughter, I can't believe it already, but her daughter is applying for colleges. She's not applying to Madison, but she is submitting applications to all the other UW schools. And she's already been admitted. She said she didn't really have to do any applying for those. It was through a program called Direct Admit. So certainly different than when we were applying back then.
Yeah, so Direct Admit is really interesting. I think there's a few schools in the state who do not subscribe to this. I think it's Eau Claire and I think it's Madison. But of the state schools, right, not Marquette, not private schools, the state schools, depending where you finish in your class, you're automatically admitted. You don't even need to submit an application. You're good to go. Madison does not play in that pool, and neither does Eau Claire for whatever reason. But most of the schools in the WIAC conference do, and other public schools in the state. It's interesting. It is 1:25 here on WTMJ, Wisconsin's Midday News podcast built by Siding Unlimited. Also, hop on our YouTube channel here whenever or wherever you're listening. No, we are live streaming this program on YouTube, so join us here. Wisconsin's Midday News.
Ready to refresh your look this August? Stock up and save at Anton Salon and Medical Spa in Delafield. Buy one medical-grade skincare or professional hair care product and get the second 50% off. Choose from trusted brands like Skin Better Science, Moroccan Oil, Aveda, and more. This special ends August 31st, so don't wait. Not sure what's right for your skin or hair? Anton's experienced team offers complimentary consultations to help you find the perfect products. Visit Anton Salon and Medical Spa in Delafield today and discover your best look yet.
Well, if you've been hurt in an accident, and my goodness, I hope that is never the case for you, but it's good to know you've got a trusted local business that's going to help you work through it. That's Gruber Law Offices. It really is a one-call-that's-all situation. If you've been hurt in an accident, you call Gruber. They focus on the legal aspect while you focus on healing. They've been doing that for 40 years, helping you with your legal situation and also giving back to the community. Hard to find a community initiative that Gruber is not behind. Each and every year, they are finding ways to give back. Had a great setup at the State Fair. Each and every year, you find Gruber all around the area and ready to go to work for you. 40 years experience, a large and powerful team ready to take on the insurance companies. Gruber-law.com. The phone number, 414-276-6666.
Just doing some roofing on another lovely Wisconsin day. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, it's just roofing done the old-fashioned way. Do you need shingles? Let's mingle, for a Wisconsin tradition never dwindles. So raise a glass, shake a hand for this old-fashioned brand. Whoop, that's old-fashioned roofing.
For more than a century, Curative Care has been helping children, adults, and families across southeast Wisconsin navigate developmental disabilities and find the support they need to thrive. Curative helps families every step of the way, from early childhood through adulthood, connecting parents with resources, providing guidance during challenging times, and creating a community where people truly belong. If you know someone who may be looking for answers and support for a loved one with developmental disabilities, visit curative.org today. Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com.
So, ladies, enjoying the charity bachelor auction so far? All right, next up, bid on a date with a true nice guy, a salesman from Soren's Ford in Brookfield.
At Soren's, we aim to please.
Woo! All right, we're going to start the bidding at $1,000 for a date with Mr. Nice Guy.
But I'm only quoted at $500.
Quiet, nice guy. Do I hear $1,200? $1,200?
$500, and I'll wash your car for free.
What are you doing? She said $1,200.
Soren's Ford always offers the best deal possible.
Soren's Ford, 189th and Capitol in Brookfield. You won't find nicer guys or lower prices anywhere.
Every homeowner has a list. That roof, those windows, that bathroom you've been meaning to update. If you've been putting off home improvements, you're not alone. At Exterior Pros and Baths, they help homeowners upgrade their homes with beautiful roofing, siding, windows, doors, gutters, and bathrooms built to last. Right now, save up to $3,000 on your next project. Don't wait until a small problem becomes an expensive one. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com. Exterior Pros and Baths. Done right, built to last.
Every child deserves someone who won't give up on them. That's what La Causa's treatment foster care program provides.
She just made me feel like I could breathe. At the end of the phone call, she said, "I love you." And I'm like, you don't even know me, but I felt like she did love me. It just let me know everything's gonna be okay. Like, everything is gonna be okay.
One caring adult can change a child's life. Learn how you can become a foster parent with La Causa at lacausa.org.
From large manufacturer to local pizza shop and every business in between, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions. Whatever you're building, you've got this, and Summit Credit Union's got you.
It's 1:30. I'm Greg Matzik. Your top story, multiple arrests after car chases across state lines.
I'm Jessica Ty. Enrollment applications going up for Wisconsin's largest school district.
Some storms possible to be heavy today with a high of 78.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. Navy officials are considering renaming an aircraft carrier after President Trump. The vessel was set to be named after a black World War II service member named Doris Miller. Here's ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers.
This would be unprecedented if they do follow through with this move. Two sources familiar with the discussion say it is something under consideration. This aircraft carrier had been christened back during the first Trump administration back in 2020.
Speaking of aircraft carriers, the USS Abraham Lincoln is now on its way back to the U.S. after 9 months deployed in the Middle East. The military has downplayed reports of poor living conditions aboard that vessel. The USS George Washington is taking its place in the Arabian Sea. And John Roberts, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, now says work on President Trump's White House ballroom can continue for now as the court weighs legal challenges against the $400 million project. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:31. 3 people in custody and a Kenosha County Sheriff's deputy injured after 2 separate multi-state car crashes.
2 pickup trucks fled from a Walmart in Summers Wednesday after one rammed into a squad car. The first truck crashed into another vehicle, injuring 3. The second was stopped past the Illinois border before the driver hid in a nearby cornfield and was caught. Deputies arrested Sable Russell as well as Cody and Ace Frank. One deputy was treated for fentanyl exposure. All 3 suspects had warrants out for their arrests in multiple states. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
A Delafield restaurant owner pleads not guilty to sexually assaulting 2 employees. Court records state Lazar Conda is accused of inappropriately touching 2 staff members while they were working. His next court date has not been set yet.
More families are applying for a kindergarten and high school in Milwaukee Public Schools. Families lining up Thursday to enroll children into the school district, including those who recently moved to Milwaukee or have yet to register. Senior Director of the Department of Student Services for MPS, Matthew Boswell, tells WTMJ.
It's very encouraging because the most important thing, education is the most powerful tool for any individual to have. So we want to make sure that parents and the community understand that has to start early. You cannot miss days.
MPS says kindergarten applications are up 22% from a year ago, while 9th grade applications are up 15%.
Wisconsin added more workers and jobs last month, while the state's unemployment rate held steady at 3.3%. That's below the national unemployment rate of 4.1%. According to the Department of Workforce Development, the state added 1,200 new jobs last month.
I think it's a little early to call out a divergence. We're still being impacted by the same trends as the nation, and we might be weathering those just a little bit differently.
That's the Department of Workforce Development's chief economist, Scott Hodak. Hodak says the state's longer-term challenge remains an aging workforce as more baby boomers retire.
Expect a squeeze on eastbound I-94 with another round of overnight road work.
Tonight, crews have work to do, and it's not just the construction of the big project. Wisconsin DOT's Eric Hansen says the crews have repair work on the schedule.
This Friday night, we do have an overnight closure on 94 eastbound schedule. That's to do some beam guard repair over by General Mitchell Boulevard, as well as doing some pothole work just on some of the existing pavement that we have out there that are in the live lanes of traffic.
But don't worry, as per their agreement, the closure won't happen until an hour after the Brewers game. Debbie Lozica, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. When it's time for a new vehicle, I know where I'm going. Griffin Ford in Waukesha. It's where I always go. It's where I buy my cars. Bought my Ford Explorer. If you've been thinking about a new SUV or truck, now's the time to stop in. Griffin Ford has an incredible selection. 60 2026 Ford Explorers in stock, starting at just $37,790. Need a truck? They've got more than 50 new 2026 Ford F-150 4x4s in stock. Yeah, starting at only $44,775. And here's the best part. With most new vehicle purchases, you'll receive a 2-year, 25,000-mile premium maintenance plan, giving you even more value and peace of mind. With one of the largest Ford inventories in Wisconsin, you don't have to settle. You can find the color, features, and model that's right for you. Stop by Griffin Ford in Waukesha, where I buy my cars, or visit griffinford.com today. Offers end August 31st. See dealer for complete details. It's Griffin Ford.
Wet basements and foundation problems? For over 20 years, Accurate has been the Fix-It Show's trusted experts in foundation repair and waterproofing. Whether it's cracked walls, drain tile issues, or water in your basement, they've got you covered. Don't wait until the problem gets worse. Call Accurate Basement Repair today at 414-744-6900 or visit AccurateBasementRepair.com. They're not just good, they're accurate.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Appliance Gallery, right on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee. Their gorgeous showroom is the most up-to-date in our state, featuring luxury brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. They'll work right with your contractor or designer and make the process seamless. They even offer brands where you can choose from custom colors. As a small family-owned company with one location, they deliver impeccable service with a personal touch. Visit ApplianceGalleryWY.com or stop in today.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. A battle of first-place teams this afternoon as the Brewers take on the Braves in Game 1 of a 3-game series. Jacob Bizarowski and Chris Sale, the pitching matchup. Sunday's series finale will take place in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, in conjunction with the Little League World Series. Brewers President of Baseball Operations Matt Arnold will be there.
You know, the guys are excited because it is a fun thing and it makes you feel like a kid when you're out there, and I think that's going to be great.
Coverage of today's game begins at 2:35. Preseason continues for the Packers tonight in Denver against the Broncos. General Manager Brian Gutekunst must trim the roster from 90 to 53 before the end of the day on August 30th.
The one cut down is phenomenal. You know, I hated the 2 cut downs because you were cutting guys that were going to play 60 snaps in that last game, and then so you ended up having to play a lot of guys you weren't maybe going to play, or you were trying to rest to get healthy for the regular season. So the one cut down is very beneficial.
Packers wrap up the preseason a week from tonight at Lambeau against the Arizona Cardinals.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. We're looking better. All of our crashes have cleared. We have a couple disabled vehicles out of the system. For the most part, we're just dealing with delays, and those are in typical spots in our construction zones. And the roads are looking better, too. Certainly, they're still wet after the rain, but the rain, for the most part, at least in Milwaukee, it's not coming down anymore.
Well, it may not be raining right now, but could more be on the horizon? That's the big question here. How severe could that potentially be? We welcome in TMJ4 meteorologist, it's Jacob Montezano. Hi, Jacob.
Hey there. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the radar. That first round's moving out. There are some very isolated storms kind of repopping in our area, but we're actually keeping a closer eye on a line of storms way off to the west near the Wisconsin-Iowa border that could produce that severe weather a little bit later.
I know earlier today, the National Weather Service was saying they couldn't rule out an isolated tornado. What are you thinking about that possibility?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to probably have a similar tornado risk to what we saw last what day was it? Tuesday, when we had those storms roll through, and we did end up with one EF0 tornado. Now, that storm, you saw a lot of damage reports with trees. That was just from straight line winds. Now, that also is possible with this round of storms, but, we're kind of in a similar risk that we were Tuesday. And Tuesday wasn't necessarily a very high risk day, but it just happened that it developed under the right circumstances. That's kind of what we're seeing this afternoon. So it very well could be as bad as Tuesday, but it also could fizzle out, especially with that rain that we saw earlier today. Although, as I look at the radar, we're kind of seeing some storms fire up just north of 94, kind of expanding from Watertown to almost Menominee Falls, just a few isolated storms there. So that kind of shows me that there is still enough energy in the atmosphere for storms to form if we're already seeing a little bit of that activity. Now, I don't expect these storms that I'm talking about that are north of the 94 right now to be anything super severe. The more severe storms right now are farther out to the west near the Iowa border, but it just kind of goes to show you that maybe we still have enough energy in the atmosphere to produce some severe weather.
Yeah, I'm wondering, Jacob, what the threshold is for that, because I think on Tuesday it was maybe a little surprising that temperatures had warmed up to where they were, and that sort of prompted what we ended up experiencing. Right now it's 65 degrees where we are. I don't know if it's a little bit warmer out west, or if you're seeing temperatures start to tick up to that sort of danger zone that could end up making the perfect recipe.
Yeah, we are keeping an eye on that temperature. It does look like, in general, the best chance of severe weather will be farther west and south. It does look like it may not warm up enough for northern areas and areas, right along the lake. But, sometimes when you have rain and storms early, sometimes that could take energy away from storms later. Other times, in rare situations, it actually could strengthen the storm. So it's always very unclear just, what that is going to factor into when we look at the storms later. Obviously, the atmosphere is a very tricky thing to forecast for, and you can have the exact same situation play out on paper, but it doesn't actually play out on when it actually happens. So I would say, the fact that we're already seeing some storms refire just north, like right now around Oconomowoc to Menominee Falls, those we're seeing some isolated storms, nothing severe right now, but the fact that we're already kind of seeing that does make me think that we still have enough energy for that severe weather later, potentially.
And you talked about the possibility for an isolated tornado. What are the other concerns for this evening? Are winds? Is it hail? Are we worried about flooding, the lightning? What is it this time?
Kind of a little bit of everything. Wind will be the most likely hazard. Obviously, with flooding, if you didn't see a ton of rain earlier, you're probably not going to see any flooding concerns unless we do see, multiple rounds of storms still throughout the day. Strong winds, hail is possible. Obviously, anytime you give thunderstorms, you can have lightning risk. And the isolated tornado risk, again, is low, but not zero. And obviously, it would just take one tornado to possibly produce some heavy damage. So if you have any plans today, no matter what you're doing, I would say just be severe weather aware. If you have any outdoor plans, definitely, might consider, moving them, especially considering if you have those outdoor plans and those plans can be moved to the weekend, do it, because the weekend is going to be very, very nice, especially Sunday.
Yeah, I was going to say, once we get through today, we're in pretty good shape, right?
Yeah, just an isolated shower chance tomorrow. Very likely to be dry all day, and Sunday almost certainly going to be dry, and we'll see highs in the 70s both days. Lower 70s Sunday with lower dew points. So if you like a little bit cooler air, Sunday and also Monday will be the days for you, I should say.
Well, sounds good. We know we got some tailgaters out at American Family Field. Probably right now. We got a 3:10 first pitch, so people trying to maybe brave the elements a little bit as they cook their brats. But afternoon baseball, and likely the roof will be closed. Jacob, always appreciate your time. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
1:42 here on WTMJ. Keep those brats dry, everybody.
Brats are steaming on the grill.
Bark and Scratch Outpost. Roxy's Resources and Awareness Drive-Thru will be at Bark and Scratch Outpost Sunday, August 23rd from 9 to 11 with free pet food and supplies. 5835 West Blue Mound Road. That's Sunday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. August 23rd. Anyone struggling with pet food can stop by. At Bark and Scratch Outpost, we think outside the bag.
MilwaukeePetFood.com. Bark and Scratch Outpost. Vince Vitrano here with your HVAC guy, Urban Heating and Cooling. How much longer does that furnace have? Question to ask my man Ryan. His family-owned business with his wife Ellie, based in Franklin. They serve all of southeast Wisconsin. Now, what Ryan most wants to do is help you get as much life out of that furnace that you've already got. But when you have him in for a tune-up, now he can give you an honest assessment on how much longer that older unit will hold out. Free estimate is always part of the deal, so you know it will fit your budget. Tell him Vinny sent you when you call urbanheatingandcooling.com.
For 176 years, St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee has been neighbors helping neighbors, working to eliminate poverty and hunger with compassion and dignity. When families face hard times, our volunteers step in. Over 600 trained volunteers ready to meet people where they're at, in their homes. And that's what our Neighbors Helping Neighbors home visit program is all about. Volunteers travel in pairs, listening first, then offering personalized support. They provide families and individuals with things like furniture, beds, food, clothing, and connect them to vital community resources, help that provides stability during challenging times. These home visits don't just address an immediate need, they help create a safer, more stable future for our families and individuals in our community. Last year alone, St. Vincent de Paul Society volunteers completed nearly 11,000 home visits across Milwaukee County, serving those who need us most. Together, we are neighbors helping neighbors. To learn more about our mission or get involved, visit svdpmilw.org.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when we have the products you need and trust at unbeatable prices? Right now, select Shepherd wheels, casters, and floor protection 15% off. 3M WorkTunes Bluetooth hearing protection $74.99. And save 10% on thoroughbred welding cylinders and gas. Plus, Chick Days start Friday, August 28th with a variety of egg layers and meat birds. Find value for the work you do every day at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
If you're in charge of uniforms and equipment, you want to get the most value for your team's budget. You want the most for your money, and you want the process to be easy. Because you already have enough on your plate. We get it. Burghardt Sporting Goods Team Outfitting Division is the best you'll find. With an abnormally high customer satisfaction rate and our own silk screening and embroidery facility for quality control. So if you want the highest quality team outfitting and incredible service,
you can't beat Burghardt.
Take your family to the amazing Mineshaft restaurant in Hartford for the all-you-can-eat Wednesday and Friday haddock fish fry for $8.99. Wow. You'll pay twice that elsewhere. Desserts or buy one, get one free. Google The Mineshaft. Call and reserve your table, The Mineshaft.
Well, you've likely seen the ads or maybe even opened up one of the apps on your own.
Prediction markets allow users to put money behind whether something will happen, who wins a football game, who wins an election, even what Mother Nature or the economy might do next. And that raises an obvious question here in Wisconsin.
How are these sites operating here when sports betting is run through the tribes and legal online sports betting isn't even up and running yet across the state?
The answer is at the center of an escalating court battle between Wisconsin and the federal government. Now, companies like Kalshi, they argue they're not sports books. Instead of betting against a casino, customers buy and sell what are known as event contracts, essentially yes or no contracts tied to an outcome. The Federal Commodity Futures Trading Commission regulates these markets as financial derivatives and argues Congress gave the agency exclusive authority over them. Wisconsin sees it differently, particularly when those contracts involve sports.
But we look forward to having this case litigated in court. It's our position that what the CFTC is doing here is going way beyond what it has the authority to do. And essentially, it's taken the same position that companies like Kalshi are, which is that by renaming what it's doing, they can take what is essentially, for all intents and purposes, gambling, as we've alleged, and make that into something that's legal.
That's Attorney General Josh Kaul, who has sued Kalshi, Polymarket, and several other prediction markets. And this is all under Wisconsin law, with legal sports wagering conducted only through tribal gaming. So we're left with two governments looking at essentially the same transaction and describing it very differently. Federal regulators say financial market. Wisconsin says gambling. The CFTC actually sued Wisconsin back in April, asking a federal court to prevent the state from enforcing its gambling laws against federally regulated prediction markets. But Wisconsin won an important early round. The federal judge in that case denied the CFTC's request for a preliminary injunction. But that wasn't a final decision on whether prediction markets are legal. those lawsuits continue. And now another company, Novig, is reportedly taking the offensive this week, suing Attorney General Call before Wisconsin can potentially take enforcement action against it. So why can Wisconsinites still encounter these markets? Because the central legal question hasn't been definitively resolved. The companies maintain federal regulation gives them authority to operate nationwide. Wisconsin maintains that doesn't provide a free pass around state gambling laws. And sports aren't the only complication. Prediction markets are now offering contracts for elections, economics, and even real-world events. So for now, these prediction markets occupy an unusual legal battleground. Are they the next generation of federally regulated financial exchanges? Or are some of these contracts simply online gambling under another name? Here in Wisconsin, that answer may ultimately come from the courts. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
So Kalshi first got on my radar right around Super Bowl time because a very prominent athlete in the state of Wisconsin was getting behind this new thing that I didn't know anything.
No longer in the state of Wisconsin.
Right. Giannis was on an ad in the Super Bowl. I was like, what is Kalshi? What is this? Right? He just had to... Okay, and I don't really use it. I don't really know from it, but I understand how they're sort of skirting the rules here to be legal in the state of Wisconsin. Meanwhile, this is being heavily opposed by the folks at Potawatomi, Ho-Chunk Nation, right? All the tribes that are fighting tooth and nail to have online sports betting legalized. So you could have an app. You could have the Potawatomi app on your phone. You could make your wager. You don't have to go to the casino hotel to make your wager. When at a kiosk or at a window, you can do it right from your phone. Well, they're fighting that battle. And they're like, well, wait a minute. How is this operational? Why does this get to work and not us?
I didn't know about Kalshi either until Giannis became a partner or a shareholder in it. And then I thought, I want to see what he's involved in now, because he was jumping into all these different companies. And so I wanted to learn more about it. I believe, was it Peter? It must have been Peter Fagan at the time. We asked him about this because I said, can players just do this, or is there some sort of conflict of interest? But he was allowed to do it. Now, he couldn't bet, so to speak, on the games he was playing in. That would be different. But yeah, he was allowed to be a part of it.
Yeah, they have found a loophole. It's being challenged, and there will be lawyers in this one. This was not going away, that's for sure. It's 1:50 on WTMJ. We celebrate an everyday hero after this.
Politics, work, daily stressors. Let's take a break from all that and get centered, Christ-centered. I'm Pastor Tim Butker. Join me each week for Christian Crusaders, a broadcast that highlights the gospel, the good news of Jesus, and our belief in the authoritative Word of God. Christ-centered, gospel-oriented, Bible-based, Christian Crusaders. Please join us Sundays at 6 a.m. on WTMJ. We'd love to have you worship with us.
Well, the story of Horicon Bank is an incredible story. Founded in 1896, a local bank ready to work for those who are ready to go to work in the state of Wisconsin. The state, not even 50 years old, but Horicon Bank was there for the community of Horicon. They remain there for all the communities they have branches located in, including newer branches in New Berlin and Wauwatosa, Menominee Falls and Grafton, even West Bend. Horicon Bank is there for you. For that business of yours that you're trying to get off the ground or maybe sustain with cash flow. For that home equity line of credit, maybe securing a mortgage. Could just be you're trying to open a first checking or savings account for a loved one in your family. It's Horicon Bank all the way, all Wisconsin, all the time. They are local as it gets. Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years, and member FDIC.
The new All-Pro battery by Steel. Tackle any task with 60% more peak power. Exclusively available at your local Steel dealer. 60% peak power comparison between AP300PC and AP300S.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 25th.
Fly ball center field. It's hit well. Grisham back. It is gone!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the New York Mets.
Got him swinging. Threw him a curveball. It's 11 Ks for Mizorowski.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in August 25th at 6:10 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
once again to recognize an everyday hero, a story told weekly by WTMJ's Eric Bilstad.
An everyday hero is when we celebrate an average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning they'd be saving a life. Today we head to Tucson, Arizona. A good reminder of just how quickly a situation can turn dire. A young woman, 20 years old, was riding her bicycle in Sabino Canyon. She was with her family when she came across a footbridge over a small river. Well, on this day, heavy rain had caused that river to raise substantially. It's a rushing river, floodwaters are flowing, and it's flowing over the bridge by about 6 inches. So these bicyclists are having a little trouble getting across. Well, this woman decides to jump off her bike and walk it across the bridge. But when she does so, she accidentally landed on the wrong side of the bridge. So now she's waist deep in the water, getting pushed up against the structure and struggling to get out. This was all caught on video. And after her friend tries to help her, this young woman gets pulled in and under the water. It all happened so fast. More bikers came running, realizing what was going on.
Yeah, she's in the hole.
As you watch the video, your heart races. At one point, a Good Samaritan falls into the raging waters herself, and she gets sucked under the bridge. Spit out the other side, she was later rescued 100 feet away. The video ends before we see what happens to this woman, but the sheriff's office says once she was finally pulled out of the water by these Good Samaritans, she wasn't breathing, and CPR was needed to resuscitate her. The young woman's alive and said to be in stable condition. The video is intense. If you'd like to see it, text the word HERO to the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. And for those bicyclists who did everything they could to save this woman's life before it was too late, thank you for being everyday heroes. Eric Bilstad, WTMJ News.
Oh, it was a great story told by WTMJ's Eric Bilstad, weekly everyday hero. Check out our podcast page, Built by Siding Unlimited, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe. Check out old segments. Well, not old, but previous segments on the show. You can also check out our YouTube page. We're streaming live each and every day, Wisconsin's Midday News.
Hey, it's the weekend. Take your family and guests to the Fox and Hounds, the up north, timbered, beautiful supper club near Holy Hill. John Mercure here. I love the Fox and Hounds. The Friday haddock fish fry is all you can eat and one of the best. All other dinners are buy one, get one free. The pan-fried walleye, the honey glazed salmon, the shrimp and scallop stir fry, surf and turf, your favorite steak or pasta, any entree, all buy one, get one free. Relax with a cocktail on that patio in the woods. The views are incredible. Then dinner in one of the 8 dining rooms. Serving Saturday lunch from 11 till 2. I highly recommend the award-winning Sunday all you care to eat brunch. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. The summer drive is a must-see. Tables are open. Google, call, reserve. Enjoy a free world-class dinner this weekend at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club, serving from 4 p.m. Dine early at the Fox and Hounds.
Hey, John. Appreciate it. Greg Matzik here for Soren's Ford on Capitol Drive in Brookfield. Drove by there today, as a matter of fact, on my way to work. I drive by Soren's Ford every day to and from work. Kind of a neighborhood dealership, and they have been doing it right in Wisconsin for over 100 years. Still the Soren's name. It's a 4th-generation family-owned Ford dealership and the longest-running Ford dealership in the state of Wisconsin. That is not an accident. That means Soren's Ford has an incredible buying and ownership experience, second to none. You want to talk about service? Needed an oil change and tire rotation in my wife's vehicle a couple of months ago. I said, no problem, Greg, we'll come out to the house. We'll pick up the vehicle, bring it back to the dealership. We'll do the services. We'll bring it back to you. You don't even have to leave the house. That was fantastic. Crossed off 2 things from our to-do list for that weekend. Knocked it out on a Friday while my wife was at home working. That is service. That is the difference with Soren's Ford. Incredible inventory. In fact, some of the 2027s are starting to pop in. Saw the new Expedition made by Ford. That thing is incredible. That means the 2026s need to go. They got to make room. The new stuff is coming. You can be the beneficiary. It's Soren's Ford on Capitol Drive. Visit Sorens.com online. That's SOERENS.
Is life insurance still on your list from earlier this year? Now is the perfect time to just get it done. A buddy told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I added this to my list this year and got it done. I called SelectQuote and was shocked at how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $18 a month. My wife's also 40 and her $5,000 policy was only $16 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, no medical exam was required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Checking this off my list felt great, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-280-5858 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-280-5858. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-280-5858. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Get your rock solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at ACCUNET.com.
The Titans of the National League collide in Milwaukee. Brewers, Braves, showtime.
High fly, right center. It is up. It is back. It is gone.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts at 2:35.
Mara, fly ball to deep left. Back it goes. It is up and gone.
Don't miss a pitch on the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 2 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Friday, August 21st. Your top story, teens heading to adult court on murder charges.
I'm Jessica Ty, staying weather aware for this afternoon.
Some light rain falling in southeastern Wisconsin right now. In fact, right where we are here at the Avenue. Some strong stuff potentially later on today. Otherwise, partly cloudy, a low of 64. Chance of rain on Saturday morning. Then sun returns with a high of 78. 65 and light rain in Milwaukee at 2 o'clock from the WTMJ breaking newsroom. 2 teens charged with the murder in Milwaukee will be tried as adults.
David Krause was allegedly fatally shot during an attempted robbery in April while celebrating 414 Day in Walker's Point. 3 teenagers were arrested, including 15-year-old Stallone Daly and 16-year-old Briante Taylor, who will now both be tried in adult court. Prosecutors are unsure who fired the fatal shot. The third teenager's case will stay in juvenile court with a hearing scheduled for Friday. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
The first round of rain has left southeastern Wisconsin, but storms are now on the way. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Jacob Montesano just minutes ago on Wisconsin's Midday News.
We're kind of seeing some storms fire up just north of 94, kind of expanding from Watertown to almost Menominee Falls, just a few isolated storms there. So that kind of shows me that there is still enough energy in the atmosphere for storms to form if we're already seeing a little bit of that activity.
There's still the possibility for strong winds and a possible tornado similar to what we saw on Tuesday. We'll have more on that coming up in just minutes.
The Universities of Wisconsin Board of Regents approves a budget request that would freeze tuition. Regent Tom Pelsewitz.
We address affordability by committing to hold the line on tuition for the following 2 years and to limit any increase to no more than inflationary rates for the next 2 subsequent years.
The tuition freeze depends on $190 million in support from state lawmakers. The budget proposal seeks additional money for financial aid, workforce readiness programs, and healthcare training. It now heads to the governor and state legislature.
The defense rests for the woman charged with killing her 3 young kids in Massachusetts. Lindsay Clancy's defense team called one last witness, a forensic psychiatrist who said she didn't know what she was doing when the deaths occurred in 2023. News Nation's Jessica Cartalia.
On the stand this morning, forensic psychiatrist Dr. Philip Resnick, he is a very well-known expert who also testified in the Andrea Yates case. Prosecutors argue that Clancy's actions show planning and awareness and that she knew what she was doing was wrong. Dr. Resnick, however, said that Clancy was unable to conform her conduct to the requirements of the law because of her mental illness. Prosecutors are now calling rebuttal witnesses, beginning with another psychiatrist, Dr. Avram Mack.
Prosecutors say Clancy planned the killings and faked a suicide attempt after, directly contradicting the defense's argument of postpartum psychosis.
With the war in Iran dragging on, the Trump administration is trying a new tactic, according to ABC's Rachel Scott.
President Trump now trying a new strategy, threatening severe consequences for any country that tries to help Iran evade sanctions and help them financially. But notably, the administration is not saying whether China, Iran's top trading partner, will face those severe consequences that President Trump is talking about. We know the White House and President Trump, well, they are now preparing for Chinese President Xi Jinping to visit here at the White House in just a few weeks.
Iran is condemning President Trump's threat to impose a so-called economic D-Day on the country. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is soaring today, up 560 points at 53,321. Good day for the NASDAQ, up 120 points at 26,186. And the S&P up about 40 at 7680. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit AnnexWealth.com.
It's almost time for baseball. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:04.
I felt a jackhammering pain in my jaw.
Like someone sawing my bones.
Barbed wire in my shoulder.
Like a cattle prod in my hip.
Like I put my foot in a blender.
Pain is different for everyone. But where pain starts, Jurnavix suzetrigine begins. Jurnavix is a non-opioid 50 milligram prescription tablet for adults with moderate to severe acute pain that reduces pain signals before they reach the brain. Before those signals tell the brain to feel
like I punched an angry beehive.
And pain reduction can finally begin. Do not take Jurnavix with CYP3A inhibitors. Avoid use with grapefruit or liver problems, as these may increase side effects. Tell your doctor about all your medicines if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. Jurnavix may make certain medicines and birth control less effective. Side effects include itching, muscle spasms, rash, and elevated muscle enzymes. To learn more about Jurnavix, ask your doctor. Call 1-833-589-PAIN or visit jurnavix.com.
The stories you're talking about on Wisconsin's Morning News.
As we saw in the last election, polls don't vote. Ultimately, people vote, and that's the only poll that really counts in the end. And we have to remember this about polls. It's a snapshot in time. Just because someone answered 3-4 weeks before an election, I'm likely to vote for this person, doesn't mean that in the 3-4 weeks later, that voter changed his or her mind. And that doesn't mean that the poll was wrong then. It was maybe right at the time.
Only here on WTMJ.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. Healthy starters expected to play tonight, but the preseason game against the Broncos will largely be a showcase of the depth of the Packers roster.
There's a good handful of guys that you know are locks, and then that's something that obviously communicate with Goody on when we're making those decisions, but there's still, a handful of spots certainly up for grabs.
Packers' 90-man roster must be trimmed to 53 by 3 o'clock on August 30th. Tonight's game, an 8 o'clock kick from Denver. Brewers begin a 3-game series against the first-place Braves this afternoon. Our coverage gets underway in about 30 minutes. Cy Young Award frontrunner Jacob Misiorowski will start for the Crew. Former American League Cy Young Award winner Chris Sale for Atlanta. Coverage gets underway at 2:35. Brewers begin the day 5 games ahead of the Cubs for first place in the NL Central.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. No crashes to report. Good news there. The roads are drying up a little bit after that earlier rain that we had. The slowing that we're seeing is in our construction zones, and especially in our construction zone on 94, right around American Family Field. But complicating matters? That's for good reason. We've got the game. It is almost time for Brewers baseball. If you are headed on 94 eastbound, headed into the city right now as you are going to American Family Field, it's especially slow right now as many fans are headed to the ballpark. You're going to hit the brakes before you get to the Zoo interchange. It looks like you're going to hit the brakes right around 108th Street.
Some light rain falling right now. Potential for some storm activity later on this afternoon and evening. with a high of 78 degrees. Probably not going to feel like that in most areas, although temperatures are starting to slowly tick up as the rain is sort of moving through. Overnight low 64. Chance of a stray shower on Saturday. Much of the day is dry and sunny with a high of 78. Sunny again on Sunday. Humidity dropping with a high of 74. 66 degrees right now. Light rain falling in Milwaukee at 2:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
For about 30 minutes here on WTMJ, and then we've got an early start here for the Milwaukee Brewers. More afternoon baseball. Afternoon baseball yesterday, afternoon baseball to round out the work week, and the Miz on the mound against Chris Sale is about the best in the business going at it today.
Gotta love that. Almost time for Brewers baseball.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, heads up for more storms. Storms this afternoon and tonight will be scattered, but could be severe. TMJ4 meteorologist Jacob Montesano just minutes ago on Midday telling us a tornado cannot be ruled out.
We're going to probably have a similar tornado risk to what we saw Tuesday when we had those storms roll through, and we did end up with one EF0 tornado. Now, that storm, you saw a lot of damage reports with trees. That was just from straight line winds. Now, that also is possible with this round of storms, but, we're kind of in a similar risk that we were Tuesday. And Tuesday wasn't necessarily a very high risk day, but it just happened that it developed under the right circumstances. That's kind of what we're seeing this afternoon. So it very well could be as bad as Tuesday, but it also could fizzle out, especially with that rain that we saw earlier today.
You have a lot of people in southern Wisconsin right now going, fizzle out, yeah. Mother Nature. We've had so much this summer. Wisconsin has already had 47 tornadoes this year. The average is 23.
Number 2, the trial of the only person ever charged in the death of Tupac Shakur is nearing the end of its first week of testimony in a Las Vegas court. Dwayne Davis stands accused of orchestrating the murder of the legendary rapper back in 1996, though he has pleaded not guilty. ABC's Alex Stone.
Well, so far, it's been 2 witnesses. One, an actual witness who was on the scene that night, who talked about that he heard the gunfire, that they actually kept him there on scene, thinking maybe he was involved, and then they realized he wasn't. The other right now is a documentary filmmaker who, they did the documentary where Dwayne Davis went on camera saying, I did this, that I was involved in it. But again, he wasn't under oath at that time, so does that mean anything?
So jurors were presented with a recording of Davis speaking during a 2008 police interview claiming that his nephew shot Tupac. Davis now says his previous statements were false, expected to continue into next week. It's 2:11 here on WTMJ.
Picture this, a perfect summer evening, great friends, and dinner on the patio overlooking a beautiful course. That's Racine Country Club. More than golf, it's a place to relax, gather, and belong. A new energy is here, and you're invited to experience it. From great food to unforgettable events, it's a lifestyle built around community. Whether it's a quick 9 after work, dinner with friends, or a weekend with family, Racine Country Club offers something for everyone, year-round. Discover what's new at Racine Country Club. Visit racinecountryclub.com.
The stories you're talking about on Wisconsin's Morning News.
As we saw in the last election, polls don't vote. Ultimately, people vote, and that's the only poll that really counts in the end. And we have to remember this about polls. It's a snapshot in time. Just because someone answered 3-4 weeks before an election, I'm likely to vote for this person, doesn't mean that in the 3-4 weeks later, that voter changed his or her mind. And that doesn't mean that the poll was wrong then. It was maybe right at the time.
Only here on WTMJ.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special?
The welcomeness. People are so friendly. If you have a problem, you can go to anybody. The community and the sense of safety provided for my mom and dad, and it's just like the most wonderful place to be.
They're just delightful, everyone. I don't see staff, I see friends. And I really do feel that.
And you couldn't live in more beautiful grounds.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga. Nobody likes backups, not on I-94 and definitely not in your own backyard. That's why I'm so glad we called Comfort Awnings. Now our outdoors time isn't delayed by rain or the scorching afternoon sun. One touch of a button gives us instant shade and shelter while also protecting us from harmful UV rays. So instead of heading inside when it gets too hot or starts to rain, we can enjoy the patio for longer. Don't let any more of the summer pass you by. Right now, get $200 off any awning or screen. Call 414-Awnings or visit comfortawnings.com.
Well, a little rainy today, chance for some potential severe weather coming a little later tonight. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the day here. Right now at 65, little light rain falling in downtown Milwaukee. Eventually, rain moves out. It's cloudy, an overnight low of 64. Slight chance of rain on Saturday morning. Otherwise, a sunny day. Most of us stay dry for most of the day and a high of 78. 65 right now in Milwaukee at 213. Well, high-stakes midterm races are taking shape across the country, including, of course, right here in Wisconsin, where Republican Congressman Tom Tiffany and Democratic candidate Milwaukee County Executive David Crawley are lobbying for votes in the governor's race. The two have opposing views on data centers. We're already seeing shots fired from both sides, but let's not forget what fueled President Trump's victory in 2024. Trump won the race, and he won Wisconsin, preaching affordability. Let's welcome in ABC investigative reporter Jared Kofsky. Jared, it's interesting to watch races play out here, really across the country. You know, oftentimes the Republican view and the Democratic view are opposing. Both sides here in the state of Wisconsin, I'm sure around the country, are both preaching affordability. Can either side really do anything about it, however?
It's a good question. I mean, you're exactly right. As you've seen in Wisconsin, yes, of course, data centers have become an issue, and yes, people are talking about the war overseas. But at the end of the day, grocery prices, it's a bread and butter issue, quite literally. And this is what really impacts a lot of people when they are trying to decide who to vote for. They're looking at their salaries not really going up that much, and they're looking at their grocery bills continuing to rise year over year over year. And a lot of voters do remember the press conference that then candidate Donald Trump did when he was running for president back in 2024. This was 2 years ago this week. He was at his golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey, and he had a table set out with lots of grocery staples on the table. He had cereal, he had milk, he had bacon, he had all these items laid out, and he was saying, look, the Biden-Harris administration, the cost has skyrocketed. I'm going to bring prices down on day one. And for a lot of voters, that was really meaningful. People were really having a hard time, especially post-COVID-19 pandemic, where there were all these price hikes, and they were hoping that this was going to be a way to bring prices down. The problem is that a lot of the data is showing that the grocery prices have continued to increase. Now, the Trump administration has said that they have been trying to make attempts to bring prices down. They feel that a lot of private sector employers, they've really stepped up, a lot of these supermarket chains, to lower prices. But at the end of the day, when you talk to shoppers, people are having a hard time paying the bills.
You mentioned that moment 2 years ago when Donald Trump literally put groceries on a table to make the case that Democrats were responsible for high prices. He also had this moment where, and I think he said it a couple times actually, he said the term groceries was old-fashioned, and the late-night shows, they just went wild with that. Do these moments now create a problem for Republicans because voters can point to the same grocery bill today and say, hey, you promised to fix this?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember, I think it was The Daily Show or one of those shows did a whole, a compilation of all of the times that the president had said the word grocery.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, if you're a Democratic operative and you're looking to make campaign ads, it's an easy way to resonate with voters to say, hey, look, this was something that the president, when he was running for office, did mention that grocery prices were going to come back down. Are you seeing that where you live? And of course, the reason why grocery prices have continued to increase can depend on who you ask. Of course, there are lots of factors at play here between the war in Iran and just the rising costs of diesel associated with that, to different costs with foodborne illnesses. The costs are sort of across the board, but at the end of the day, if you're just someone who's trying to put food on the table and you are either having to buy fewer items when you go to the supermarket, or you're going to more of a discount supermarket that you otherwise wouldn't have typically shopped at and not buying as many name brand items, these are decisions that people are needing to make. So a lot of Republicans are trying to emphasize in their campaign materials all that they've done individually to try to bring down prices. The question is, what are voters going to care about when it comes to November? Will they be more focused on what's happening nationally, or will they just look at their supermarket bill and say, I can't take this anymore?
Well, another question I would have in that regard, Jared, is do voters hold state lawmakers or federal leaders more responsible for that continued inflation?
I mean, it seems like it mostly falls at the federal level just because around the country, this is something that's impacting every part of the U.S. Yes, there are certain places in the U.S. that might have higher grocery bills than others, but at the end of the day, this is a nationwide issue, and in some ways, it is a worldwide issue. I mean, you go to other countries as well, they are dealing with high grocery prices in particular, but at the end of the day, people do typically look to the federal government. I mean, President Trump right now, there was a poll that came out not that long ago, earlier this month, that found that 2/3 of the U.S. that they disapprove of his handling of the economy. But one thing that is a particularly troubling sign for Republicans right now is that the number of Americans who feel that they are going to have a hard time paying the supermarket bills over the next couple of months is skyrocketing. So back in April, when they did a poll, it was around 25% of people who said, I don't know how I'm going to pay my groceries over the next couple of months. The latest poll that just came out had that number up to 41%. Because if your salary is not rising and the grocery bill keeps rising, eventually you're going to have to make choices as to what you're going to pay for.
Jared, we keep hearing that inflation is cooling. So why does that not translate into prices at the grocery store?
Well, because the way that prices are done, it's ultimately up to the merchant to determine the prices. And at the end of the day, it's not like they're required to lower prices. There's no legal obligation to bring prices down. The Trump administration has thanked the private sector for, in some cases there are some supermarket chains that have put out press releases over the last couple of weeks that they've voluntarily lowered prices on a handful of items. But at the end of the day, if they are still able to make money from people, while they're charging certain prices, and some people are able to afford those prices, a lot of economists have argued that there isn't really an incentive to bring prices down if, they are still able to make money. However, we are seeing that some of the profits at some chains are starting to lower. I know there was a report that came out earlier this week from Walmart with difference in the amount of money that they've been making from customers. So if people are pulling back at what they are spending on, eventually retailers are likely going to need to respond to that, because if people are simply saying, okay, if the cost of this item is so much higher than it was 6 months ago, 12 months ago, I'm simply not going to purchase that item. If you're a retailer, you are going to want to lower prices in response to that. So it might take some more time before we see more of these widespread reductions across the board. The White House is saying that once things happen in Iran, then customers can expect to see lower prices, but it remains to see if anything like that will happen before November.
Jared, regardless of who is elected at the federal level or at the local level, I'm not expecting sweeping price reductions at the grocery store in the snap of a finger or blink of an eye. I do wonder if around the country and here in Wisconsin, if Tom Tiffany and David Crawley will promote other areas of savings that'll allow you to put more dollars into the grocery store, savings on property taxes, things along that line to maybe free up some dollars.
Right, it's a good question. And, at the end of the day, a lot of politicians can make different promises, but voters often do remember the promises that were made. Voters do remember, especially when you look at that press conference that we were talking about that happened 2 years ago this week with all the grocery staples on the table. I mean, that was a highly visual event. People can remember that visual of, okay, here he is with all of the groceries. These are the items that are going to become more affordable. People can remember stuff like that. One thing, though, that does help in a state like Wisconsin, for example, because Wisconsin is a state that does produce a lot of the food that is consumed around the U.S., the cost of transportation and diesel prices might not be as much of an impact in Wisconsin when it comes to shipping items to local customers as it would be, say, in a state like New York, where you're going to be shipping items from Wisconsin all the way to New York. That is an expensive cost that might get passed down to the customer. In Wisconsin, a lot of the items that are produced in Wisconsin are staying in Wisconsin. Of course, Wisconsin has a massive export market, both around the U.S. and around the world, but at least one benefit potentially to Wisconsin consumers is that for items that are being produced produced in Wisconsin, the cost of transportation isn't as much of an issue there as it would be in other states.
You know how there's that Waffle House index that gauges the severity of a natural disaster and the level of help a community needs based on whether the local Waffle House is open? I feel like we need something like a milk index. At what price are people just so fed up that the price of milk is this, that it is definitely going to impact their vote? I don't think we have that, but I feel like we should.
It would be helpful. I mean, especially in Wisconsin, I think a milk index would help for a lot of people. But you know what? I think both Democrats and Republicans would like something like that, just to have, just like a clear metric to point to all these changes that we're seeing. But right now, I'm sure you're going to see a lot more campaign ads pretty soon, especially in Wisconsin, that are focused specifically on grocery prices, because candidates know that that's something that's going to resonate with people.
Well, the milk index. We'll get working on it, Jared. We'll welcome you back next time we have it all sorted out. Jared Kofsky joining us from ABC. We appreciate it, Jared. Thank you.
Thank you, Jared.
Thanks so much. Good luck with the index.
I love that. Good luck with the index.
Yeah, thanks. We'll work on it.
I'll tell you what, last night I went to a grocery store downtown, and I was just going to get a couple things. But I really just got a couple of things because there's also construction happening in that grocery store. So you can't get in one of the spots, and then one of the other spots was closed as well, and then they didn't have any carts there. So I just went in and I thought, well, I'm just going to, whatever I can carry is what I'm going to take out today. And I mean, I could have gone back out to the parking lot to get something, but my plan wasn't to go and get a bunch. So I thought that's fine. So I thought this will bring down my bill. I had my clementines, that I like in the morning.
Yep.
So I had a bag of clementines, and then I had some raspberries that were on sale. The clementines were on sale. I didn't really need the clementines yet, but they were on sale. So with the price of groceries, you got to get it what's on sale, right? I got 2 avocados. I got a little steak. And I feel like one other thing, but my total was...
I'm adding in my head, $8.14, $38.
Oh, really? Well, see... But,
that's my guess.
But then I also use my Saver card, because I always tell you clip those coupons and it helps. Right now, when those grocery prices are so high, it helps. It was actually $27, basically. It was $26.90.
Okay.
So I did save, because of my coupons and the sales, $5.20. But I guess the point is I only bought 4 things, Greg.
Yeah. Yeah.
I only bought 4 things. And then I laughed because I almost put the clementines down because the lines were so long, because it was that after work time. And I think they didn't have a lot of people working. I thought, wow, is this a sign of the economy? Prices are high. There weren't enough people to work the lines. So you had crazy lines because they didn't have enough workers. Construction was going on. You couldn't find a cart. I mean, I had a smile on my face because I just felt like you have to, right? But some of the people were like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. And it's not just certain items. It's a little bit of everything. And really, it's not about politicians when the egg prices go up. It's about what's happening with the birds, as what we saw last year. And that seems to fluctuate a little bit. But you're right. Everybody feeling it. No doubt about it. 2:25 here on WTMJ. We've got Brewers baseball coming up in about 10 minutes here. Pre-game coverage of the Brewers and Braves, game 1 of that series. It's also Players Weekend, which is pretty cool. That means you're going to see a lot of interesting bats and combinations and shoes that you don't normally see. The MLB relaxes its rules for the players, one weekend for every year. So you're going to see some very interesting things.
Loaded bats?
I don't know if there'd be Jell-O or Super Balls in the bats like Sammy Sosa did when he played for the Cubs, but nonetheless, I think you'll see some interesting designs on player bats and cleats this weekend.
Looking forward to that.
We've got news coming up in just a few minutes here.
Summer is the time to enjoy the outside. Enjoy the deck, the patio, the fire pit, the shade, the screen room, the in-ground pool. Enjoy all of it in your own backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's top TimberTech decking installer and can deliver a design and build your next maintenance-free deck with a custom screen room and automated pergola. Stop by our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Every homeowner has a list. That roof, those windows, that bathroom you've been meaning to update. If you've been putting off home improvements, you're not alone. At Exterior Pros and Baths, they help homeowners upgrade their homes with beautiful roofing, siding, windows, doors, gutters, and bathrooms built to last. Right now, save up to $3,000 on your next project. Don't wait until a small problem becomes an expensive one. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com. Exterior Pros and Baths. Done right, built to last.
Ready to refresh your look this August? Stock up and save at Anton Salon and Medical Spa in Delafield. Buy one medical grade skincare or professional hair care product and get the second 50% off. Choose from trusted brands like Skin Better Science, Moroccan Oil, Aveda, and more. This special ends August 31st, so don't wait. Not sure what's right for your skin or hair? Anton's experienced team offers complimentary consultations to help you find the perfect products. Visit Anton Salon and Medical Spa in Delafield today and discover your best look yet.
Bark and Scratch Outpost.
Roxy's Resources and Awareness Drive-Thru will be at Bark and Scratch Outpost Sunday, August 23rd from 9 to 11 with free pet food and supplies. 5835 West Blue Mound Road. That's Sunday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. August 23rd. Anyone struggling with pet food can stop by. At Bark and Scratch Outpost, we think outside the bag.
MilwaukeePetFood.com. Bark and Scratch Outpost.
As the kiddos get ready to get back to school, you can find really great back-to-school savings at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. School supplies and some surprisingly cool clothing too. And teachers, you get an additional discount. Get the best back-to-school bargains at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory's arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy. And helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
The stories you're talking about on Wisconsin's Morning News.
As we saw in the last election, polls don't vote. Ultimately, people vote, and that's the only poll that really counts in the end. And we have to remember this about polls. It's a snapshot in time. Just because someone answered 3-4 weeks before an election, I'm likely to vote for this person, doesn't mean that in the 3-4 weeks later, that voter changed his or her mind. And that doesn't mean that the poll was wrong then. It was maybe right at the time.
Only here on WTMJ.
Have you been living with pain and just assuming it's something you have to just live with and accept? Do not. I'm Julia Fellow with WTMJ. If chronic pain is keeping you from enjoying life, I want you to head to Jens Family Chiropractic in Germantown. Jens Family Chiropractic is now offering soft wave tissue regeneration therapy. It's an advanced, non-invasive treatment. It helps your body repair itself naturally. I'm getting that done on my lower back. Soft wave stimulates healing, improves blood flow, and activates your own body's repair cells to target pain at its source. If you're dealing with knee pain, shoulder pain, back pain, do not wait another day. For a limited time, your first soft wave treatment is just $57. This is an incredible opportunity to find out if this breakthrough therapy can help you get back to the things you love, like it did for me. Head to jensfamilychiropractic.com. That's YENTZ familychiropractic.com. Regenerate, recover, live pain-free at jensfamilychiropractic.com.
It's 2:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. Your top story: the search continues for a suspected bank robber.
I'm Jessica Ty, rescued from Ridglan Farms and now in prison.
Showers and storms possible, partly cloudy, high of 78. It's currently 66.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. Closing arguments are set to begin next week in the Lindsay Clancy murder trial. The defense rested today. They'd been arguing Clancy was suffering from postpartum psychosis when she killed her 3 children in 2023. A new order from the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, John Roberts, has allowed construction on the White House ballroom to continue. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has more.
The Chief Justice of the United States putting a stay in place, preventing a preliminary injunction that would have taken effect today from going into effect. It means that construction on the ballroom can continue, and not just the security-related portions, but all of the project.
After living in California for several years, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are moving back to the UK. The family plans to live in a private, non-royal residence near London, according to The Telegraph. It comes after we learned Harry and others will have to pay $13 million to the Daily Mail newspaper after losing an invasion of privacy case. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Times, 2:31. Police looking for a suspect who robbed a bank in Brookfield. Authorities say the man robbed the North Shore Bank near Pilgrim Road and Capitol Drive Thursday afternoon. They're looking for a man who was wearing a tan hooded sweatshirt, jean jacket, black mask, gloves, and jeans. He drove away in a black 4-door sedan with no license plates. You can find his photo online and more details at WTMJ.com.
4 of the Beagles rescued from the now closed Ridglan Farms in Dane County, the breeding and research facility, are now in prison. Inmates at the Alger Correctional Facility in Michigan are helping those dogs learn to be pets. We talked with the deputy warden, Patty Hubble, today.
When the Beagles first came in, a lot of them hadn't been on grass, hadn't been, just walked, hadn't been on a leash or a collar, other than maybe coming from the shelter. So they had a lot of adjustment outside of our normal dogs that come in, being touched and handled, seeing people moving around, the fresh air, bugs, birds, things they had never seen before.
Hubble says prison inmates are ideal to work with those dogs because they're available 24/7 for support.
Decision Wisconsin, a Republican candidate for state Senate wins a legal challenge that sought to remove her from the November ballot.
Dane County judge denied a temporary injunction asking a judge to declare Michelle Magadance Skinner ineligible to run. The lawsuit filed by the state Senate Democratic Committee argued that Skinner is primarily a resident of Georgia and has improperly voted in both states. Skinner is an Eau Claire County supervisor running against incumbent Democratic State Senator Jeff Smith in the 31st District in western Wisconsin. She will remain on the November ballot. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
I-94 drivers on Milwaukee's west side are settling into a new traffic pattern that'll be around for a while.
Eastbound I-94 is down to 2 lanes, if you haven't noticed, between 70th Street and General Mitchell Boulevard. Wisconsin DOT's Eric Hansen says the change went in earlier this week.
So on the west leg, we did install our traffic shift on 94 eastbound between 70th Street and General Mitchell Boulevard.
For drivers wondering how long things will stay this way, Hansen says there shouldn't be another major change right away.
We should remain fairly static through, I'd say, the end of September, early October.
Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
And just like that, Brewers baseball is upon us here. Jacob Mizorowski, the Miz, against Chris Sale. It's the Brewers and Braves.
Fall is right around the corner, and we've got something new to celebrate this